Good evening, good evening, good evening. How are we all doing, folks?
All good.
And as you can see, somebody's daft enough to actually come and join us as a guest. We've got the one and only Mr. Big G from One Man Stands channel. And big welcome, G. How you doing, buddy?
Very, very well, thank you.
Good, good.
Very well.
Oh, watch out. Trouble's here.
Hello, Bill.
Oh,
Hi, Bill. How you doing, buddy? Jamie?
I shall behave because Lisa's in chat.
Yeah, you best behave.
I'll
All
get
right,
told
Phil.
off
Long
again.
time no see. David?
Lisa.
Sean? Stream Elements, all the fuck you. My better half.
Definitely.
Absolutely. So, how you doing, Matt? How's this week been?
Reasonably productive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I went out with your missus for the afternoon.
Hey, whoa.
What?
Okay.
She grabbed me firmly from behind.
Well, she's
Well,
good at
we'll
doing
move on
things
from
like
that,
that, from
won't we,
grabbing
before I
people
get
from
a
behind.
slap? No, well, we went out to an important meeting, is what I should say, which Lisa and Lee have both been helping me with some legal things. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Legal business, and Lisa and Lee have both been awesome. I'm eternally grateful.
No, you know we're always here, but
Apart from that, not a lot really, mate.
not a lot. Oh, so as you see, we've got a guest, and for those people who don't know, tell them about yourself, G.
Okay. Well, I'm Big G. Some of you might know me from Wire Talk with Big G, which is still going, but it's going to take a change of direction. That's Wire Talk with Big G on YouTube, by the way. Former coil builder, still technically a coil builder, but haven't done one for a while. But yeah, I'm basically concentrating on music now, hence the one man stands thing. You guys will know what happened, but a couple of years back,
Yeah.
shit went south, and found myself in a new situation, a new housing situation, shall we say, which was a bit shit, but you know, such as it is. Just got heavily back into music again. Just you know yourself.
You're doing some absolute awesome stuff.
Yeah,
Thank you very much,
really
man.
good.
Thanks very much, man. But yeah, just
Hopefully,
playing.
Nightbot will kick in to span the channel out, but I'll be in chat anyway.
Nightbot arrives when Nightbot needs to arrive.
Well, that's the link to G's channel.
Cheers, dude.
Go and drop him a sub. Tell him that the wizard sent you there. Otherwise, I'll come round and give you a slap if you don't. Let's get him a few more subs. At the minute, we're on,
Joe Biden will come into your house at night while you're sleeping and sniff your hair.
313 subs we're on at the minute.
Yeah, well worth the watch on that channel. Really is.
It's
Right.
been good, man. It's been therapeutic. Different to what I'm used to doing, because obviously I'm more of a metalhead nowadays, but a very eclectic tastes, like punk, blues, bit of jazz, bit of classical, just a wee bit though. Drum and bass, electronic. I like a bit of everything really, but mostly metal and punk.
Absolutely. Well,
I sat down to record a metal album.
cool.
And my very first instrument was keyboards, but I stopped playing when I found the bass. When I started playing bass, so I'd only about 5 years of keyboard playing when I gave it up, and I thought, right, I'm going to do a couple of keyboard bits for some of these tunes.
Cool.
And I just liked the sound of the keys. Just kept layering sound after sound after sound of keys, and it just eventually became all
This
electronic.
is it. I've discussed this numerous times on streams. That's the good thing about writing music, that sort of art form. It can take you in absolutely any direction.
Oh, totally. And I wasn't even doing it intentionally as well, but it just kind of happened as it did. I just thought, yeah, that sounds nice. And I suppose I've always loved. We talked about Prodigy earlier, but I mean, I've always loved the Prodigy and the Chemical Brothers.
Yeah.
Pendulum.
I've never quite got
I
into
love those
Chemical
guys.
Brothers, but I'll bits of Prodigy I don't mind. I think the only bit of electronic music I got into, we're going fucking old school here now, Jean-Michel Jarre.
Yes, sir.
I
Yes.
can go even older.
That's how I started playing
Kraftwerk.
keys. Kraftwerk,
Kraftwerk.
yeah. But Jean-Michel Jarre,
Waterbound and
that's
stuff
how
like
I
that.
started playing. Yep.
You know, that's. I think eclectic is a good idea though with music.
Absolutely.
You know, because you hear influences from everywhere. You really do.
Yep.
This
Yeah,
is
it's
it. I mean,
been good.
I think
Therapeutic, as I said.
I mean, in my music, I think you can definitely hear that sort of early Sabbath influence in definitely certain riffs. Bit of Maiden.
And a bit of Carcass.
Yeah, well, there might be a bit of Carcass in there every now and again.
Yeah. I hear it.
Oh, you got to get some Carcass in there.
Oh,
I fucking love Carcass. In fact, we went to see him a couple of weeks back.
I saw that. I was
Yeah.
quite jealous because I've never seen them live.
Oh, first time I saw him, 91, God's a Grind tour. So you've got Carcass, Entombed, Cathedral, Confessor. Oh, what a fucking good night.
All you
It's
needed
doing-
on that list, mate, was Testament.
Oh,
Yeah.
Now we're talking, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking Testament are awesome live.
Yeah.
First time I saw them live, 87, supporting Anthrax. And they absolutely blew Anthrax off the stage.
That's my favourite fucking band of all time, Anthrax. That and
Yeah, I like a bit of Anthrax.
Testament are quite close up there, but
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't say my favourite band, but you know what? I've got a bit of a thing for Anthrax because I actually like all the people in it. They're all nice guys in Anthrax.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're all
fucking
just down to
genuine
earth
dudes.
guys.
Yeah.
the thing is, even though like members have left, you know, it's never been on bad terms, really.
No, there's never any bad blood. I mean,
It was kind of
After-
slight
after-
bad blood when Joey first left.
yeah,
But that was in his part because let's face it, he was a
Yeah.
raging alcoholic.
this is it. And
So he would have felt
mean,
better.
I mean, Dan Luca's done stuff with him. He's done
Yeah.
all the SOD stuff with him.
Yep.
I mean, he got kicked out in 84, 85.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Still good friends.
Yeah. But they're not on par for whinging with the great Megadeth.
Oh,
Nobody's on par with that as the Ginger Whinger.
I mean, I draw my eyes and I say, oh, but I absolutely fucking love them. But they are becoming
yeah.
a parody.
I mean,
They're becoming a
we've
bit of a
said this
parody
before,
of
you-
themselves.
You can't deny it. Because he does come up with some banging tunes, and he's a
Oh,
fucking awesome guitar player. It's just a tit.
He just needs a slap every now and then to bring him
Yeah.
back to reality.
Just
Yeah.
needs to go back into his box.
Yeah, it's Mega Dave now. It's not Megadeth.
Mm.
And in saying that, Annihilators went the same because Jeff Waters is the only.
I'm going to say,
Original
he's
member
been the
left.
Jeff Waters band for donkey's years, hasn't he?
Yeah, it always was. Yeah.
Well, Annihilator, Machine Head, Wasp.
Yeah.
Mind you, Wasp in the Black Lola span since about 86.
I
Although,
was quite disappointed.
next
'cause-
Sunday we're off to see Chris Holmes.
Oh,
Yeah, in Blackpool. And yes, there may be some vlogs coming out on that for over the couple of days.
All 6'5" of him.
Yeah. Ask him if he's got fucking snow on top of his head.
Right. If you get a chance, Lee, ask
Get
him a
nose
question.
points up there.
Ask him a question from me.
Go on.
Why did he never, in all the years he was with Wasp, why didn't he never punch Blackie Lawless square in the mouth?
He was a bit of a tit.
You know,
Should I say he is?
Yeah.
that is one man that I could quite cheerfully, you want to throttle him. It's
Yeah.
just something irritating.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And now he looks like
Oh, nice
granny.
one, Bill.
Yeah, he's still wearing tight leather pants and he looks like your granny.
Yeah, he looks like your knackered old auntie that still thinks she's got it going.
It's not a good look.
Oh, God, here we go. The Irish have invaded. All right, Gaz, how you doing, bud?
Quick, put the wall up.
Oh.
They're the most peaceful people on earth right now, so they are. The Irish.
Yeah.
Speaking from experience.
I'm sure Matt can go across and disturb that piece.
Quite soon, if all things go right, mate. I disturb people wherever I go.
You are disturbed.
I certainly am.
Oh, Jesus, Bill.
Yeah, you're not wrong there, Bill. You're definitely not wrong. Yeah, I've got to admit, Chris Holmes these days does seem a lot happier than what he's ever been. I mean, he's saying we Carcass guys, you can tell when they're up there on stage now, they're enjoying it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're absolutely loving it.
And again, to go back to Anthrax, that's one thing that I've always loved about them.
Yeah.
When you see them live, they're just constant. They just always look like they're loving it. You know,
Yeah.
still loving what they do, and they're so energetic live as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Scott Ian, what age is he? He must be nearing 60.
He's got to be.
Yeah.
He's got to be.
If he's not already there, and he's still jumping about like he was 17.
His knees must be completely
I
unauthorized.
was going to say, because he's jumping off of the drum riser.
I mean,
Every gig.
talk about knees. What about old fucking Angus Young? His knees must be knackered.
Aye. That's true.
Yeah. I think some bands, though, they get too big and then the fun goes out of it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, Metallica's definitely one.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, another band that me and Matt talk about a lot from that era, Exodus.
Oh,
Yeah.
Fucking love Exodus.
yeah, love Exodus.
They've never changed as well.
No.
They still sound the exact same
They
as
stuck
what
to
they did
that.
back in the 80s.
They stuck to that we don't give a attitude,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is what we're going to
That's-
play. You
Yeah,
like
they-
it or you don't like it. Either way. Yeah.
They were a weird band because, I mean, they were labelled as thrash, but they were kind of on that border with thrash and hardcore punk.
Yeah, it was.
You know, they just kind of tread that line.
Yeah.
You know?
And it works, though. It really
Oh,
works.
it really does. It really does.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. Class musicians.
Yeah. I saw him. I can't remember it. It was before lockdown, so it must be 4 years ago. Unfortunately, well, when Gary was still touring with Slayer, so they got some recovery for Gary, but even so, it was fucking still awesome live.
Gary Holt, mate,
Yeah.
Oh, Gary Holt's an
Phenomenal.
absolute fucking riff monster.
he's a machine. He really is. He's.
But
You know, I
same again,
said,
a nice guy.
yeah. I said to Lisa when we was in the car the other day, I rate Exodus over Slayer. I prefer Exodus
Me
to
too.
Slayer. That's
too.
my opinion. So
I've
I'm sure
never been
somebody
a
will
fan of
disagree.
Slayer.
But
Never been a fan of Slayer at all.
they did a few. There was a few tracks.
The odd tune, you know,
Not
one or
many.
two off of Seasons in the Abyss.
Yeah.
One possibly two off of Rain and Blood. I'll tell you the one album that I did like was God Hates Us All.
Yeah, that's a good album.
That had Jihad on, didn't it?
That's the one, yeah.
And I think it was because it was more punk than
They
anything.
talk, you know, the bit of Jihad where you have I'm not going to try and do it, but the call to prayer bit at the start. They've removed that from the re-release of the album because they said it's offensive. Well, it's a call to prayer. It's not offensive. It's just saying it's part of a song, guys. You know.
It'll not be funny, but if you're gonna take away the call for prayer from every track, you're going to lose the likes of Primus, greet the sacred cow.
Cool. Yeah,
You know, it starts off with a Muslim call to prayer.
Yeah.
You know,
It's not an insult. You know, I'm not saying that we should go around insulting Muslim people or any other faith, because we shouldn't. That's wrong.
Fucking hell, Craig.
That is wrong. Yeah, live and let live in my eyes.
Absolutely.
You know, and off.
But come on, each Slayer, they're there to be fucking offensive.
I know, that's what they were always about.
Yeah,
You know,
they're there to piss people off.
when did they start giving a shit? Because
I don't think-
He weren't the band. I think it was down to fucking record label
was.
as usual.
Well, it would have been,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I think it was once they re-released quite a few of the albums in a box set when Tom called it a day, because Tom said, you know, I've had enough of touring, which is fair dues. He'd been on the road for years and it was affecting family. And
Yeah.
a lot of people went, oh, that's wrong. Well, try being on the road for 30 years and seeing how you feel
Yeah,
after
30 years.
Gets a bit tiring.
Yeah,
Yeah,
especially
Living-
playing that sort of
living-
music in your 60s.
yeah. And living in a bus.
Yeah.
You know, for almost a
Sleep
year.
apnea, because Tom's got sleep apnea and all.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Me too.
B3, Lisa 4.
The only band that I can think of that managed to do more than 30 years on the road, so I have to get it in every fucking show, was Lemmick and Motorhead. Continuously did it for over 30 years of being on the road, and I think you've got to be a bit crazy to do it.
Absolutely. Well, it was almost 40 years old, wasn't it, for Lemmy?
Never do anything else, did they?
Nah.
Yeah, some people just
Album
love
tour, album
hobo
tour,
life.
album tour.
Some people just love that hobo life, you know.
Yeah.
Going from club to club.
Yeah, Maiden have been going for 50 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you didn't feel old, that fact will make you feel old for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bill.
He's good at that, Bill. He's good at fucking making us feel good, you twat.
That's all right. Bill bought Beethoven's Fifth when it was released on single.
On 78.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, I know, Lisa. I was going to say when we were talking about the sleep apnea, I go to bed looking like something in a slip every night.
We go to bed, it's like,
Yeah.
and there's two of us at it as well. I just wonder what neighbours are thinking.
No, they probably think you're having some sort of weird sort of you'd be fine.
I can neither confirm or deny those rumours.
No, that's fine, mate.
Oh man.
Yeah. So, but there's been some absolute fucking dickhead bands out there.
Yeah.
Star Wars sex games. Hey, whatever you want to get up to, Bill, that's your private life. That's fine by us.
And if you call that a lightsaber, the picture you sent me, it's very small.
Why is that lightsaber purple?
Oh, dear. I noticed that with this show. It lasts about 10 minutes before it goes completely off track into some.
Oh, it's like
Sometimes
good
it
old
don't even
times for
last
me
that
then.
It turns into a crash.
Oh, fuck's sake.
You know, gee, we're just up here for laugh. We're here for crack. You know,
That's
not,
not- that's-
we're not here to offend anybody. We're just up for a crack. We take piss out of each other. We take piss out of everybody in chat.
That's the
They
only
take
reason
piss
I
out of
done
us. That's the way
YouTube.
it should be.
Yeah, that's the only reason I done the YouTube, just to have a laugh, have fun, hang out with friends.
Absolutely.
And if it ever got any kind of drama, just disappear from it.
No, I said this to Lee the other week.
I
I
sent you those pictures in private.
said this to Lee a while ago when we were chatting on like one of our weekly sort of moaning meetings. And I said the day it gets to, that point where I'm thinking, oh, fuck's sake, my show to do tonight. Oh, fuck. That's it. That's it. I'm off. See you.
Yeah.
I'm done.
This is another reason why we don't do it as a weekly show. We just do it as and when we feel like it.
Have a bit of fun, bit of a giggle.
We might do 2 or 3 weeks on track. We might do one every fortnight and then not do one for a month.
Well, I mean, it depends on you.
Yeah.
You know, your work,
I mean,
obviously.
because I work 24 hours, 7 shifts, so I'm not always off on a weekend. Then when I am off at weekends, we try and get a couple of shows in. And sometimes when I am working weekends, we'll do 1 or 2 in a week.
Or, God forbid, sometimes there's things that you have to do in real life. I'm
You
sure
fucking
some
swear at
people.
me.
Sorry, mate. I'm sure some people forget that you do actually have to do things in real life. You know.
You never know.
Yeah.
I mean,
YouTubers still have to take a shit every now and then, you know.
Yeah.
Still have to pay the bills. Still have to go to the
Absolutely,
post office.
it's like when I'm recording videos. If I miss a week or two, so what? I'll catch up and then crack on again.
Yeah.
You need a week off from it every now and again, anyway.
Oh yeah. If you want it to stay fresh and you want people to know that you're having fun with it, yeah. If you feel like you need a break, take a break.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, Matt knows this. It was about this time last year, so July, August time. I had a bit of I won't say a breakdown, but I had a bit of a off day, shall we say? And I just had to just put everything down for. I think it were about 3 weeks before I even thought about doing any videos.
Yeah.
I just worked. I think everything had just. Last year were a bit of a bad year.
Yeah.
Well, there was a lot going on, mate.
A lot going off last year, and things just got on top of me, and
Lucky you.
yeah, it were a good night. That.
Oh.
Yeah, things just got on top of me, and I just lost my mojo for a couple of weeks. Just got no energy, no enthusiasm to do it. So let's just put it to one side for a couple of weeks, and then see how things go.
That's when you know something's going on. Something bad is going on. Is when you can't even enjoy doing the things that you enjoy doing.
Yeah,
you know, it's like, right, okay, I need to sort shit out.
Yeah,
you know.
Well,
and at that time, I was putting 2 videos up a week as well. So I just weren't getting a rest. Either I was doing 4 12-hour shifts, or I was working on channel stuff on my days off, and I just weren't getting a rest. And they were like, right, now we need to cut this down. We'll cut it back down to 1 video a week for now. Every now and again we might put 2 up, but I think I had a bit of a dip in views for a couple of weeks, and then it went views back up to when I'm putting 2 videos out, so it didn't really make any difference to.
If people enjoy the content, you know, they will wait for it. They will.
Well, they either enjoy it or enjoy it or endure it.
wow.
Yeah.
Either that or just put a gun to the head. You are fucking watching this.
Yeah, that's what you see. That's one thing that surprised me. Is like I haven't done. You know, as I said like earlier, you guys know it already anyway. But the Wild Talk with Big G was a vaping channel.
Yeah.
It was all coil building, and it kind of revolved around that. Done the odd like Jackbox game stream as well, but it was mostly revolving around vaping, and it's just like.
No worries, DW. Don't worry, we're not going
When
anywhere
I
yet.
stepped away from it, I thought, right, here go the figures, but it was weird.
Yeah.
The numbers, my subscriber count's still almost the same. I lost like 4 or
I think
5 or
you'll
something,
always get.
but it's weird.
You'll always get those people who bitch and moan, or why haven't you done this? Why haven't you done that? Why?
Aye.
You're always going to get them, to which
Absolutely.
just don't read the comments. It's a simple one half the time. It's just whatever.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. If I get some dickhead comment, I just usually have some fun with
Yeah.
It's the best thing.
because I can't remember what video it was. I think it was some sort of chorus pedal, and I was using my PRS, and somebody commented, "Oh, how come somebody have a PRS and play so bad?" So I just commented, "I never said I were good."
That's just totally elitist, though, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
you can't expect the whole world to be at the exact same level, and you know every guitarist has to be a shredder.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? That's unrealistic.
Thing is, the person making this comment, could they even play?
Probably not. Probably not.
Probably not, because they didn't have any content on the channel.
Yeah.
This is the thing that kills me as well. Is like I've seen people in some streams, you know, like say maybe Glenn Fricker, and they're like laughing when they hear certain people's submissions.
Yeah.
He does the Monday night mixes,
Yeah.
Monday morning mix, I think it is as well. And you see some people laughing when certain mixes are getting played, as if, you know, right, well, can you do any better? And
Exactly.
you'll hear their submission, and it'll be fucking woeful.
Yeah.
Well,
And you're like,
we had
so
this
how do
trend.
you justify having an opinion like that then?
Well, that Bobby's Mix Crate, he only opens it up once or twice a year. He opens it up for about 2 or 3 weeks for the people to join. And I've got to admit, it's one of the best communities within the music community that I've been part of. Everybody helps each other out. It's not a case of your mix is shit, oh, that sounds shit. It's like, yeah, I can see where you're going, but perhaps try this, perhaps take some mid-range out here, or your guitars are a bit loud, or your vocals need a bit. It's more helpful comments rather than just going, "Oh, that's shit."
Don't get me wrong. I mean, Glenn Fricker's community is generally they are a good bunch. You know, they'll be the same. They'll say, "Oh, that could maybe do with a bit more high end," or you know, maybe take something off the 10K or whatever. And you know, they'll offer suggestions, but there's just one or two.
There's always that odd one or two.
But
I am in Glenn's Discord, but I don't frequent Discord that often.
Nah, I hardly go into it.
When he got this chart, it got, like we were saying before we came on about the sort of the vape thing, it got that bad in the vape community. I don't know if you saw this. We had there was a few people, YouTubers, who were actually getting videos of other people's channels and then sitting there and criticising other people.
Yeah. One of said people has had their channel removed.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they have. I'm not going to do the namey name thing, but you know, but
if you know,
why?
you know. If you know, you know.
Why?
But
What's the point? If you don't like the person, little red X at the top, click it. Okay.
Yeah.
Done. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's more things in life to be worrying about than sitting bitching about somebody on a screen that you don't even know personally.
Exactly.
You know? That's a sad way to live your life, man.
I mean, most of us that are on this platform are here for a good time. We're just here for crack.
Yeah.
Plenty of crack.
And I'm being funny, half the time, the people who watch any YouTube channels do not want to come in here and hear the casters swearing and carrying on, going on about, oh, so-and-so's this and he's done that,
Exactly.
and he's the wanker and he's this and I've got proof and this.
Yep.
And she's that and that other. Who cares?
No! Stop!
No, nobody gives a monkeys. Nobody gives a rat's ass.
It kills me because they're basically putting themselves out there as a vapor channel, but show me where your main topics are vaping, because I've
Very
yet
few.
to hear some of these channels talk about vaping.
Yeah.
You know the drama ones. I've
Yeah.
never heard them talking about vaping, except so what you vaping on today, and that covers about 5 minutes of the show, and then it's just bitching
Bitchy, yeah.
for the
You know,
next
I do-
hour and a half.
I do the show with Salford, Dave. I do that show. And as we've said countless times, and Craig is in chat, I do it with he's on with us. And that show is meant to be a vaping show. But as we've all said, it turns into more of a shit show because it's more about the comedy value of everything.
Yeah,
And people come in and they waffle about anything.
yeah.
So long as it's not offensive or racist or religion based,
Exactly.
anything like that. Yeah, great. Have a laugh.
Yeah. Exactly. We
That's what
don't
we
need
do.
to slag anybody up. We're here for a good laugh.
I mean, the only person you're allowed to slag off in here really is Justin Bieber,
Yeah,
but that is allowed.
we can allow that one through. I think. Yeah, going back to Lisa's comment. Yeah, I used to be part of Ola's Discord and on his YouTube
I still am.
membership thing. And about 3 years back, when Bobby contacted me saying we're doing this mix crit, and I thought, you know what, I'm not getting out from this Ola YouTube membership. I'll ditch that and put the money towards that where I can learn something. And I tell you what, I've learned so much in these last 3 years.
Yeah. Ola's more about he's just more about music, yes, but he's more about having a laugh.
Yeah.
You know.
Cheers, Altwin.
He pretty much always has been just about having a laugh with it anyway.
Mm.
But no, I know what you mean. It's one of the reasons I did join Glenn Fricker's channel, the Spectre Sound, but I'm hardly in there because I think one of the first times I went in, I submitted a mix, and looking back, it was awful.
Yeah.
You know, but I was proud of it because it was something that I'd completely done myself, you know. And
Exactly.
just all these people started jumping in. Oh no, that's not the way to do that. You need to do this and you need to do that. And I know now that they were trying to be helpful, but at the time I was just like, fuck you then.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I know I keep referencing Bobby a lot. He said, even if it's your own music, yeah, once you're in that writing stage and tracking stage, once all that's done, once all the tracking's done, then you've got to take that artist hat off and then put the producer hat on,
Yeah.
and put all your egos to one side. Even though he's a guitar player as well as a producer, that was his main gig originally. In fact, he was a guitar teacher at one point. Even he has to edit his own guitar parts.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't care what anybody says. Every record that's out there has the guitar parts edited. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh yeah.
And it's not to get them absolutely timed aligned on the grid. You just have to get them in the pocket.
Well, I'm not being funny, but why would there be so many tools for the music production. Why would there be so many tools to allow you to be able to do that process,
Yeah.
chopping bits out, and splitting and recombining two different parts to make it sound like one fluid part? Why have that technology and those tools
Well,
if it wasn't
I
needed?
mean, they were doing it back in the
most
day.
perfect
We
guitar players
erased the
not going to be
blade.
able to do that in one go unless you're Eddie Van Halen. But
Well, saying that, Eruption was 6 different takes, all spliced together.
yeah,
What are you going to go back to using like 16 track?
and I don't know if you saw recently, but even some bands are using kick tracks now
Yeah.
live. They're not even bothering. I mean, they probably are still playing, but that's just for their own, to keep themselves right. But what you're hearing is not what they're playing.
I
It's just
have an
got
issue
too
with that.
perfect.
Exactly, DW. Uh-oh,
it's-
here we go. Somebody's let the Belgian in.
Oh no!
He's another good guitar player, G. He comes
I
up with
totally
some
agree
really
with that.
good music. He's one worth checking out. Eric,
I
go
absolutely
and check
agree with
G's
that.
channel out. Otherwise, I'm going to come and slap you.
And Joe Biden will come to your house while you're sleeping and sniff your hair.
Yeah. Maybe stick a finger in your ear hole. Well, he'll say
Or something
fingers.
else.
Well, yeah.
Or a wet willy.
Exactly, Bill. There's a lot of so-called engineers out there that won't do any editing.
Yeah.
And then you've got the guys who were willing to put it in, and those are the ones who'll get the work.
And Bill, these things are still going, and they are still a great set of headphones, dude. So I cannot thank you enough for them. It was Bill that got me these. He sent them.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sent me
He's a good
these,
bloke,
what,
Bill.
about three years ago? Something like that now.
He's a
And
good guy.
they're still working perfect. I haven't had the slightest bit of crackle.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Also,
The headphones might be working, but Bill's about knackered.
And
yeah, but Bill's been knackered for years.
I
It's
don't
always
use
the best.
I don't use monitors for mixing. They're all
I
done in that.
have
on
got
these.
a pair of monitors, but I've just got these are some of the smallest monitors out there. They're the Presonus Eris 3.5s. So it's not exactly big monitors. And I'm still
Monitors don't need to be huge
yeah.
these days now.
That's the same headset I got 5 years ago when I first got this set up.
I am
Still
Scottish.
set of
I am
headphones.
Scottish Hawkwind, but I live in Northern Ireland now, so you might hear a little twang of the Northern Irish.
Yes, Hawkwind, he is definitely Scottish.
Yeah, he's one of them.
Born in Glasgow, raised in Clydebank.
He broke out of Clydebank and escaped.
Yeah, he escaped.
The guards were off that
13
right.
years ago in April there.
He did a Billy Connolly escaped and ran away.
In December official. You need to speak proper Oxford English.
Why don't you just go and fuck up?
We are speaking the Queen's English.
Oh, this is the King's English.
It's the King's English.
Kings or Queens, I think the fuck where he's beating it to bollocks.
Just don't ask me to say purple burglar.
Oh, don't you ever mention that band on this channel. Don't you ever mention that band on this channel. Oh, phew.
From the same town, it's city, sorry.
Yeah.
No, the town that I was raised in is the same town as Wet Wet Wet
Oh, unlucky.
and Duncan Bannatyne
Oh,
or Dragon's Den.
Jesus.
Yeah. Can we
What?
mention the
How you doing, buddy?
Absolutely, you can mention Queen. I love that band. It's always been one of my favourite bands of all time.
I think
Freddie
Queen are a
Mercury.
cracking
Freddie
band.
Mercury.
No, I've
can
never
do
been a
no
fan of
wrong.
Marillion, but a guy I used to work with just wouldn't shut up about him. And apparently, according to him, they're the fucking best band in the world. But yeah, he's only ever listened to them since the new singer joined. He's never listened to any old stuff with Fish.
What he's got? You mean he's got the greatest hits CD and that's it?
Probably.
Oh, absolutely, Lisa. I wish I had his money.
I don't mind Marillion, but I'm not one of my favourite bands. But I thought
Nah,
I'm not a fan.
they were good musicians. They were really good at what they done, but it just wasn't for me.
I know Bill likes a bit of Marillion.
Oh, nice one, dude. Where you off to? Get off. Oh, excuse me. Is that true, Matt? Those rumours true.
Wow! Yeah, I do love the Sweep. I do. I don't care. Bit of Blockbuster, yeah. Yeah, I don't care. I listen. I do love me 70s stuff.
Not wrong with a bit of sweet.
Well, it's what you grow up with as well, isn't it? You know,
Right.
grow up with.
Absolutely. Yeah. DW, Death World. He's a good friend of mine from over each States. He's only a young kid. He's only in his 20s, but I tell you what, he's like us. He's into old school style thrash. He's not into this modern prog gent stuff.
Guilty.
The modern stuff that
Guilty.
I just can't get on with it.
But I think that's because it's got an electronic element to a lot of it nowadays.
You could have a good point there.
I like that, I like that kind of fusion stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, one of my favourite bands.
We don't want to know about your old big bam bam.
One of my favourite bands, Circles. They're from Australia.
Yeah.
They use a lot of electronic stuff. They mix it really nicely though, that it's kind of hidden in the background. It's just more of a textural feel that they use the electronic stuff for. But yeah, I love that kind of stuff.
I mean, I don't use a lot of keyboards and synths in my songs, but I do every now and again if it fits.
Yeah.
It's got to fit.
Yeah, that's probably why.
There's a couple of songs that have got sort of, if you will, Fear Factory style riffs in them there, and I've put some sort of keyboardy bits just in the sort of background, and it fit. Cool, I'll leave that in.
Just to bring out a certain frequency.
Yeah.
I now have a vision of Lee up in that room, dressed up as Rick Wakefield.
I knew you were going to say that.
The wizard.
Yeah.
Where's me at?
Oh, fucking hell.
Okay, now I couldn't play a fucking 3-hour fucking keyboard solo. Fuck that, I get bored.
Or arthritis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a bit of RSI. I get that from other activities.
Oh yeah, Rick Wakefield. Now there's a not very nice man.
Yeah. Well, not one that's got his head up his own ass.
Yeah.
Never a fan of them either. Yes.
Everybody's less ugly than Glenn.
I'm sure he would actually agree as well.
I don't mind Glenn. I don't like watching his channel.
Yeah, I like the guy. I mean, he's no bullshit.
Yeah.
If something's shit, he says it's shit.
Yeah. Like with me.
People don't like that though.
If I don't
especially
like it,
especially if they don't. Yeah, especially if they don't like the opinion he has because they actually own it.
Yeah.
They own the product that he's talking about. If he says it's shit and they own that product, obviously they're going to disagree with them.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just like we were saying earlier. Yeah, a certain company is sending me a product to review and do a video on, but they've not. They said, "Here you go. It's happy. It's coming out of their advertisement budget, but there's no. This is what you'll need to say in the video. Here you go. Here's the product. You'll go and review it. Good, bad, or indifferent. Same with the Ugritone reviews I've done. Yeah, they give me they send me the software. He says, just do a video. You give me your honest opinion of it, and I always have.
With it, yeah.
I've got to admit, I use Ugritone drums 95% of the time. But
they sound fantastic.
Yeah, but like I've said in most of the thing, not all the sounds are to my taste. Sometimes I'll swap out. Some of the snares are a bit bright sounding for me, so I'll swap out one snare for another, and I'll get the sound I want.
I mean, obviously, as I says, I've only been recording for 2 years.
Bungle, how you doing, buddy?
Doing my own recording, I mean.
Oh, gold.
So I've only been doing that 2 years.
Hey, buddy.
Michael.
How's it going, sir? But I mean, I've only been doing recording for 2 years, but it ain't easy. But I mean, like, if I'm doing something, I don't use the same amp sounds all the time, so I just change the sound, especially if it's covers, because I'll try and get the guitar sound as close to the original as I can.
Yeah.
And you can't use the same drums all the time then. If you're changing the sound of one instrument, you're, you know yourself, it's a frequency thing.
Absolutely.
Frequencies are always going to clash, so you can't use the same snare all the time. You need a different one sometimes. And
to go back to Ugritons, and I've asked him, I said, are you okay if I review other drum programs? He says, yeah, we want to see what the competition's doing. Go for it. Cool. Because I have got the Glenn Fricker drums, they are
nice.
Yeah, nice.
Extinction level event. I love that.
That's the one.
See that bleed, having that bleed there.
That bleed function is good. I haven't done I was going to record a video this week on them, but there's supposed to be an update to one coming out this month, so I'm hanging on for a couple of weeks if that update comes out. Yeah.
Ooh,
version 2 is supposed to be coming out soon, so but yeah,
is it just an update, or is it more kits?
I think there's another kit, and there's more pieces of kit as well. So you're not just getting the 4 toms. I think there's more variations of toms and snares and kicks.
Yeah. So you can go
there's the standard kit. There's the kit that come with the original version, and I think the Tama kit coming as well in the second version.
Oh, Tama, nice.
Yeah.
I really like I've got the Extinction level event drums. I've got the Stephen Slate 5. They're nice, you know. I mean, you get a shit ton of drums.
The free version of the Slate drums.
The free version is not that different, except you get more choice of your individual. You were saying about the individual mix and matching your own kit. There's more freedom with the paid version, and there's there's like electronic drums on this one as well, which is handy for me. But
I've got
they're lovely.
I've got the ML drums as well, the ML SoundLab drums. They're not bad.
I tried to get that, but it wouldn't work on my machine. Different one now. I should try it again.
I have got Easy Drummer 2, but I've not. Christ, it's been a long time since I've used that. I didn't even bother upgrading to version 3. I thought I don't really use it that much enough to warrant paying that extra money out just to get an upgrade.
It'd be nice if they did like a Bill Ward version, mate.
Yeah.
No, I'm not a producer in December. I've only been recording, doing my own recordings for 2 years. I've been playing for.
Hey, everything's a compromise. If you're in a band,
Been playing for.
Yeah.
let's see, 47,
And it's always the drummer's fault because he can't keep the.
33 to 34 years I've been playing.
Well, for 2 years, mate, you've done, I think, very well. I think personally. But,
you have, dude. You
Thanks
have.
very much,
yeah,
man.
I mean, I know you've always been into music anyway,
Oh yeah.
for years. You know, we
Yeah.
talked about that before.
Even before I
Yeah.
started playing bass, obviously I was playing keyboard for a few years before that, but so I've always been playing
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
since I was a kid.
I think it's a good thing to get kids into. is
Absolutely.
music.
It is. It was actually my late aunt's brother that got me into playing music.
Yeah.
He was a bass player, and he taught me my very first bass line, which was, remember the
Oh,
old
that's
snooker theme
understandable.
tune? The old snooker theme tune that was just the bass, and it was the dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun. That was the first bass line I ever learned. He taught me that. And I never touched a bass again for about 5-6 years. But yeah, I love the bass. That's why as soon as I picked up the bass, every other instrument that I wanted to play or did play was just, nope, bass, that's it. I'm a bass player. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks very much.
Absolutely, DW. We within a band and there's 4 or 5, 6, or it's like not fucking 9 members. There's got to be a bit of compromise there.
Absolutely. Nobody's ever going to agree all the time.
Well, Slipknot's just changed somebody out, haven't they?
Yeah.
I love that, Mike. I love that. That's fucking brilliant. Well, you'll be pleased to know that I was quite stoned writing it and playing it.
Good man. Good lad.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's been many a good song written to influences of Green.
Yeah.
For those that
Which
don't know,
chemicals have been used and abused.
yeah, and for those that don't know,
Lemmy made an entire career out of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
it is now medicinally legal. Has been since 2018. Not many people in the UK know that. I didn't know until last year. So, I'm a medicinal cannabis patient.
That's it, Craig that's just left. Slipknot.
Ah. Oh yeah, in December I love Gojira. Absolutely love
Yeah.
that band.
Yeah. But,
They're another band. If I've never seen them live,
No.
just on YouTube, obviously. But when you see them live on YouTube, I mean, they just go all for it. You know?
oh yeah.
I don't
Especially
mind a
that
bit of
bass player.
Gojira.
Was Jean-Michel Labadie, the bass player? He is just fucking mental. That's right, Mike. You said that the album was quite like War of the Worlds as well. Yeah,
It's very
I
true,
love
that, Phil. It's very
Yeah.
true. And actually, Ringo is a very underrated drummer.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Some of the crosshand shit he was doing was like Miles Davis.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just
People
because of the
irritate
pace.
me.
It's because
Just
of the
because
pace that
somebody
he
doesn't
played.
look.
Yeah.
Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there could only be one fucking Keith Moon back in that era.
It was a lunatic.
Yeah.
That's why everybody loved him. When you think about it, some of the greatest drummers
And
we've ever
Kelly.
seen have been self-taught.
Mm-hmm.
Keith Moon being one.
Yep.
Yep.
Me
Ginger
being
Rogers.
another, that's why my playing so shit.
Ginger Rogers.
Phil Taylor.
Mm-hmm. Thank God, I thought you were going to say Phil Collins there. Who is actually a great drummer.
no.
He is actually a good drummer, though.
He was not so much. He's
Not now, because he's
not a well man, is he?
no, he's
No,
all
he's
but
not been well
disabled
for a
now.
while, has he?
All but disabled.
Yeah. Which, whether you like him or not, it's a shame. Really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Keith
you-
Moon was insane.
And that's why we loved him.
Yeah, Ginger Rogers.
I mean, Ginger Baker.
Ginger Baker. Ginger Rogers was the fucking.
Well, when you say
Charleston
Ginger Rogers,
fucking-
I'm thinking, does he mean Ginger Baker?
That was Ginger Rogers.
Yeah.
Ginger Baker was.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck's sake. Thanks, Hawkwind. Thank you for correcting me.
Yeah. Ginger Baker. Oh, yeah.
There you go. There's one of the side effects from my prescribed medication.
Ginger Baker was. Yeah. He was
No, it's
a
just
lunatic.
one of the side effects of getting old.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
too,
he was
that
all
too.
the time.
Most definitely. Oh man.
As far as nobody said Joey Jorgensen yet.
Oh, that goes without saying.
He comes in the top 10 of drummers, but not definitely not at the top.
Charlie Benanti. Guy's a legend. I mean, he
Yeah.
is actually accredited with creating the blast beat.
True.
Although
I'm a big
people
fan of
will
Charlie.
people will disagree, but I mean, he is largely credited with
he
creating the
was.
blast beat. You know, so
I still think one of the greatest drummers that's ever come out of this country, and I know there are certain people who aren't in this chat, but certain people who disagree, was Bill Ward of Black Sabbath.
yeah.
Because Bill Ward made things look so easy.
Well,
And Bill was,
Anybody
of course, a jazz drummer originally.
yeah. But the thing
Oh,
is,
Mike, I was told that Bill Ward weren't any good. He's no good. He's not as good as Joey Jordison.
Yeah, Bill Ward
the
is.
thing is, when you look at anybody that is a drummer knows it's easy enough to sit and play a beat that's quite upbeat.
Yeah.
Playing slow is one of the hardest things to do on a kit. It's so hard to keep time with a really slow beat because there are so many.
And just keep it in that groove. Keep
There's
that
so much
groove.
space in between each hit, you know. And if you can keep that kind of speed going, you know, that kind of sludgy speed going constant, and you're staying in time, that takes immense talent.
Yeah. I mean, there's been some. A
And,
lot
and then
of
we're
the
going
great.
back to the first Cathedral album there.
Oh
Yeah. Was it the sludgy bit that did it? I think some of the best drummers over the years have all had sort of that background in jazz music.
Absolutely.
Personally, I'm not a big fan of. I like Miles Davis. I like some of Ginger Baker's sort of jazz influenced African
Yeah.
stuff that he did.
Oh, I just thought of another one, Chris Layton from Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Layton was a demon on the kit. Is a demon on the kit. He's still going actually.
The thing is, a lot of those drummers are drummers that you don't recognise. They don't stick out,
No.
but
The-
because they're so good, they're just there.
yeah. Pete Sandoval,
Foundational.
ex-Morbid Angel, he wore a fucking machine, he was.
Oh yeah.
Well, he still is.
Gene Hogland,
Gene Oglen, yeah.
Paul Bostaff,
Yeah, big fan of Bostoff.
you know. So
Yeah.
Lombardo.
Yes.
that's going back a bit, Bill. Rick Allen, Def Leppard, and Bill says I saw Rick with his left arm.
Yeah. Would he run after you as you were waving it at him?
Every time I hear that guy's name, I always think of the breakdown in, is it F.U.C.K. by Bloodhound Gang? The drummer from Def Leppard's only got one arm. The drummer from Def Leppard's only got one arm.
Oh, what
The drummer from Def Leppard's only got one arm. That was the breakdown in the track. It was fucking brilliant.
Oh, fuck it up.
Oh,
Oh,
Porcupine
fucking
Tree,
blow down
that's
again, Jesus.
that's
Oh,
a great
fucking,
band. Yeah.
fucking, the Ballad of Chasey Lane.
Yeah.
I never noticed that the Ballad of Chasey Lane, the bloke by the table, was actually Darth.
Yeah? Did you not know that?
But Nico McBain has got to be in there as well.
Yeah.
Who?
Purely because
Nico, Maiden.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He's such a funny fucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is fucking crackers.
Any man that can do a puppet show in between set tracks, you've got to be a legend.
Yeah.
I love him. It's not quite. He's lost it.
He never had it.
But in the best possible way.
Oh, great bloke.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awful. You've got to be crackers to be a fucking drummer in the first place. I mean, just look at me. Well, my dad was a drummer, so
Yeah.
there's everything.
Well, there you go. That says it all.
Yeah.
I played with a drummer in one of the
Oh, aye.
the blues band that I was in over in Scotland, and the guy played with a circus that actually toured the world when he was in his late teens through his 20s.
Yeah.
But because of the kind of way of life they led, he was drinking all the time, and he was a proper alcoholic.
Yeah.
Had the shakes if he didn't get a drink, but
Jesus.
he couldn't play sober. He literally could not play. It was like he would be looking at the kit almost like, shit, how do I do this again? And there was one time we were rehearsing, we had a gig like in a few days, and we were going for the rehearsal, and the guy was sitting there, and he couldn't afford a carry out for the rehearsal, and he was, getting the shakes, and he's doing the looking round the kit like, oh fuck, panic was setting in, and to the point where my mate Bill, who was the lead guitarist, he was right, fuck this, right, I'll be back in 10 minutes guys, and he came back with a carry out for him, and so as soon as he downed a full can in like less than 3 seconds, opened the next one, got about halfway through that, and then that was him. He was like, right, we doing this guys, perfect timing.
Yeah.
It was just like, how can you live like that, man?
Yeah. I've known one or two people like that. Imagine, look at Dimebag. Fucking hell. Did he ever play fucking sober? But I'll tell you what, he never missed a fucking note.
No. That was like this guy. If he had a drink in him, he was a hurricane. He reminded me of Chris Layton from Double Trouble, because
Yeah.
he was a jazz drummer predominantly, but he did, as most jazz musicians do as well, play a bit of blues. So we got him in. We were lucky to get him in because he was very sought after over in Glasgow, and we were lucky to get him in the band. Jesus Christ, he was a pleasure to play with. We got to play tunes that we would never be able to play with a lot of drummers, like what's it called, Skull Button by Double Trouble, Third Stone from the Sun by Jimi Hendrix, which is quite a groovy tune, but then it gets to the breakdown and it goes bing ding 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 ding, and then it's just one big fucking drum solo for the rest of the track, and he done it perfectly as well.
Don't worry, Mike, that other song, it's still there. I've just got one few things to iron out. There's a couple of the songs I'm in the middle of writing at the minute, and the plan is I'm going to put all 3 of them as an EP. If you're okay with that, unless you want me to release that one that you've written as a separate song. But if you're happy, that's the plan. But if you want yours doing as a separate song, and if you want to send me some of them lyrics over, I could try and
Does Mike play?
come up with some tunes for those.
Does Mike play?
He does play a little bit. He did get a guitar at the beginning of this year, end of last year.
Yeah.
But
Didn't know that.
he's been writing some lyrics, and he sent me some lyrics to write a tune to, which the tune's written. It's in demo format. It's just getting some time to get down and record everything properly.
Yeah.
I need a couple of days just to get everything. When I've got a clear couple of days, so I can get some tracking done in peace. But I've got absolutely nothing going off in the background. Let's just concentrate. Get the guitars, bass, and vocals done on a
Mike's
couple
spot
of
on
days.
there as well. If it's done when it's done.
Yeah.
Not in any rush. It's the best way to do it.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Take time
But
with it.
also, that's one way. But I also like to work to deadlines and get things done.
Oh yeah, head towards a finished product. Aye.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Have a target in mind, but just don't force it. Is what I mean.
No, I never force anything.
Because look what happened to St. Anger.
How many times
Enough said.
yeah. Only times that I do not exactly force things. I usually put a song out for Halloween and Christmas, but I usually try and start writing about a couple of months beforehand to give myself time to come up with something, get it written, record it properly, and then get it mixed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris Adler, another good drummer.
Yes.
Lamb of God.
Yeah.
Don't forget, subscribe to this man.
Thank you very much.
What about, because he always goes down as the greatest drummer who ever lived, according to the idiot,
Oh,
John Bonham.
Aye.
I think this is going to be a nasty one, John. I personally think John Bonham was an average drummer, but he could hit hard. That was about it with John.
Yeah.
And I don't think Led Zeppelin as a band were a great band, not to the stage that everybody thinks they were a great band. I think there were better bands of that time.
I'll tell you what, his son is a demon on the kit.
His son is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And he's another man who, of course, was half the time was pissed when he was playing drum.
yeah. There you go. That's what he got. He got Ibanez.
I play an Ibanez as well.
Yeah,
My 7 strings are an Ibanez. It's a Geo, but it does me.
Yeah, I've got. There you go.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, I've got the GL 7 string. I've got a GL 6 string, which I've got that tune to drop C. And I swapped the original pickups out in that for Seymour Duncan's, the JB and 59 set. And I'll tell you what, that now in drop C growls like a beast. And then I've got the blue RGRT Ibanez, and that's a fucking awesome guitar.
I completely
plays
agree with that, Bill.
because it's got that typical Ibanez wizard neck on it as well.
I love the neck. I mean, it's the 7 that I've got. But
Yeah.
I've got massive hands, but I've not got lead guitarist hands. Let's put it that way. But for a 7 string, the neck is it's not chunky.
Yeah,
It's thin,
Well-
so you can get your hands round no bother, even if you've not got spades like mine.
yeah. I've got to admit that it's the same Ibanez 7 strings you have got, but I've also got a Solar 7 string. That is a nice guitar, and I'll tell you what, the neck on that is more like the Ibanez Wizard neck rather than
Yeah.
the Geo neck. It's got that thinner profile to it.
Is it
That is so
hardtail
easy
or
to
is it
play.
hardtail or have you got a trim?
No, it's the hardtail.
Nice. Evertune?
Sorry?
Is it an Evertune?
No, it's not the Evertune.
Even still,
Unfortunately, yeah, it's
they're
just
still,
normal.
still beautifully made.
Yeah.
Oh, I know he does, Bill. I know he does, because I've got a cover of Jular on the One Man Stands channel, and
that
I
one.
had to tune the whole guitar to C.
In December, it's been years since I picked the guitar up like
There
20
you go.
years.
There you go, G. That's the
Jeez.
solo, 7
That's
string,
beautiful.
and it's a B stock as well.
Jesus.
And you know what's wrong with it? There's a chip of paint out that's about the size of a pinhead. And the plastic's B stock, and a drip of paint.
See,
That's it.
He's a bit too humble for his own good sometimes, I think.
Yeah.
You know, because I remember him saying the B stock, you know, he's very particular about when he puts the guitars out. You know, if it's got the slightest mark on it, slightest wee imperfection with paint, it's B stock.
This was the first solo that I got. This is 6 string.
That's gorgeous. I love that finish.
That's the B stock as well. I don't know if you'll be able to quite tell. If you just look there, some of the dyes turn green rather than blue.
I love that though.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I saw it.
That's why it's B stock.
Yeah,
Fuck.
that's the only reason. Because that, and I saw it and I thought, I like that.
Yeah.
It's individual. It looks individual.
I think that's one of the
Almost
best
what
looking
I
things
think
about
they've
it.
stopped doing that trans blow now, unfortunately.
Dave
They
Grohl.
do it every now and again.
Oh.
The man can.
Dave Grohl
Hammer a
compared
kid.
to Taylor Hawkins.
Mm.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a lovely guitar, Mike.
I would have to go
Send me a picture.
personally.
I just did, Mike. Sorry, go ahead, Matt.
No, I'm on about Dave Grohl and Taylor Hawkins. Personally, I would go probably with Dave because I prefer Dave Grohl's playing.
Dave Grohl is a heavy hitter.
Yeah.
It's like what you were saying about John Bonham.
Yeah.
He doesn't do Dave Grohl. I mean, okay, when he was on the Queens of the Stone Age album, he was battering the hell out of that kit, but it really works. That's what's beautiful about the drums on that album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is how it's the attack on the kit. You know,
But
it's
if
just,
I'm right, Gary's more into his sort of punky punk stuff, isn't
Pop punk and Smashing Pumpkins and things like that.
he? Yeah. So he'd sway more towards sort of the Taylor Hawkins
Yeah.
style of music, which, if that's who you like, that's who you like. I think he was a good guitarist.
I mean, Gary, we're trying to give him an education into some decent music. We've sent him down the sort of Carcass, Cradle of Filth, Death route. We've let him go down that rabbit hole. So we're trying to get him into some decent music.
God, if you really want a rabbit hole to fall down, but with the trip as well, try listening to Igor. Phenomenal. It's like nothing I've ever heard before. I got introduced to them 2-3 months ago, and I haven't stopped listening to them. It's a weird eclectic mix. It's got brutal Cannibal Corpse-esque guitars, because the guy that does all of the writing for the band, Gautier Serre, his favourite band of all time is Cannibal Corpse, but you wouldn't know it from the stuff they listen to. They play except for the guitars. You know, the guitars are brutal metal, almost black metal in places, but it's got operatic vocals, and then it's got brutal black metal vocals as well.
Yeah.
A bit of
See,
death
that's
metal
what a lot of
vocals
people
and drum and bass.
can't get their head around that sort of operatic vocals work really well with that brutal
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
black and death metal sound.
Yeah. Well, it was Michael Kamen. He was the conductor for the San Francisco Orchestra
Yeah,
that done the S&M tour with Metallica.
that's right. Yeah,
It was him. That was his idea.
Yeah.
Because he got brought in. Bob Rock brought him in just purely to do the. It was Bob Rock.
that's right. Yeah, I remember that story.
He
Yeah,
brought him in purely to do the elevator mix for
Yeah.
Nothing Else Matters, which was all orchestral, and that was the only thing that he done. And then Michael Kamen, after he heard that, was like, I think I need to listen to more Metallica, and he did, and he was like, this is classical music. This
Yeah.
is just, it's different instruments, but the actual approach and the overall sound is classical.
yeah, and a lot of people just don't. They just hear it as noise.
Mhm.
There's a.
It's
I mean,
frequencies.
we say this a lot. We go back to this band a lot. Carcass. You listen
Yeah.
to a lot of the early Carcass stuff. It's classical music.
Well,
It is.
Heartwork changed the metal scene forever.
Absolutely. If it weren't for that album, you wouldn't have half the amount of brutal bands you've got these days.
Nowhere near.
Absolutely not. But no, I mean, it is. It's
I'd like to go see Cradle live. I've never seen them live.
But me, I've seen them once. They're good. They were good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Never been a
Um,
fan. Never been a fan, but they are, again, phenomenal musicians.
At the minute, I've been listening to Haru, which is like a Finnish folk
I know the
death
name.
metal band.
I know the name.
That is some weird shit, mate. It's proper weird. So no, Gary, do not go down that route because you'll damage your brain.
Do it, Gary, do it. Go on, do it.
Actually, I'll tell you a good band for Gary to go and listen to, or a good album, Probot.
Yeah.
Probot,
Probot.
that guy has some fucking voice on him.
Go and
No,
listen to that
No, I'm
album.
thinking Crowbot, sorry.
No, you're
I'm
thinking of
Crowbot.
Probot. No, Probot was the
Oh,
album
Probot.
that Dave Grohl did, but he got different singers to sing the songs.
He
I
had,
was thinking Crowbot, that guy has he's some sort
yes,
of
yeah, I know you're on about him. Yeah, he
Yeah.
does.
He
Yeah,
does
Pro-
one of the,
yeah,
he
I
does
don't
one of
like
the
that
best
album
Geddy Lee impressions I've ever heard.
had all sorts of people on there from over the years, and it was just a hodgepodge of like some of the greatest
Mhm.
people out of metal. And it was
Absolutely, Bill. They do.
really good album.
Nothing wrong with liking a bit of punk, Gary. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
I still listen to a lot of punk music as well.
I started
Yeah.
listening to a lot of punk again recently because Rancid released a new album, and I know
Yeah.
Rancid are quite frowned upon in the punk scene because they went
Oh.
commercial. They went commercial, but I don't care. The music's
well,
still
well,
fucking
hold on.
brilliant.
This is like anything. Why did they go commercial? Oh yeah, because they wanted to make some money.
Exactly. At the end of the day, you got to get paid for what you do. You know,
I really love them. Love all Rancid, and yeah, I have for years.
they've always been one of the best, if not the best, modern punk bands, if you ask me. Because Matt Freeman,
Yeah,
you're not going to find many better bass players in the punk scene than that guy.
I think they've got to be well.
Lars
up there.
Fredriksson has, if you ask me, has one of the best voices in punk. As does. It took me a long time to get used to Tim Armstrong's voice, I will admit. Because I listened to him when he was with what was the band? It's not Swinging Utters he was with. Anyway, Operation Ivy, and I remember him. He was a backing vocalist back then with them, and I remember hearing his voice, and I was like, that guy's so fucking out of tune. That's awful. And then I heard Rancid, and I was like, that's the same guy. That guy sounds so out of tune. That is shit. That is horrible. But then I realised, no, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know, it's that Shane McGowan thing. It's about just, I don't give a fuck.
I'm just up here fucking enjoying myself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
I think this is where the Motorhead thing comes in, because Motorhead is like a crossover between, it's that heavy rock, metal, punk.
Yeah.
You can cross over with it if you know Motorhead. There's a lot of Motorhead stuff that is definitely punk in its way.
yeah, yeah.
It's
You
like,
can see a lot of punks
yeah,
talking
it's-
about the Motorhead
Yeah.
battle jackets.
Patches
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a big fuck you to society.
Later on, G, I'll show you one of my battle jackets. You'll fucking love it.
Thank God for that. I thought he was going elsewhere. I thought
I haven't had a battle jacket since my teens. I wish
Well,
I
battle
could.
jacket. But as we used to call them back in the 80s, cut-offs.
Aye,
good
a
luck.
cut. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a Lemmy themed one. I'll show you that later.
Nice.
That my good lady made for me.
Yes, Bill, I know. It's just rock and roll. It's all just rock and roll.
Everything's
It's
just
all-
rock and roll. What do you think metal is? It's rock and roll and blues played fast.
It's just rock and roll to piss your fucking your family off.
Piss off your family and the establishment.
And to get you bouncing.
Unless you're Metallica, and then you're the fucking establishment.
I mean, most people play their children nursery rhymes to put them to sleep. I play Gwendolyn, Motorhead, and she goes to sleep.
See, that's how I was raised.
kid.
That's how I was
That's a
raised.
good kid.
My
I raised my kids right. I made them listen to Slayer.
Well, it was my mother that got me into metal. Her and my uncle. My uncle was a Maiden fan. My mother's a Maiden fan.
Yeah.
She was a Metallica fan. Still is. She still loves those bands. But she also liked like the Stranglers, stuff like that as well. So I get a punk.
I don't mind a bit of Stranglers.
I get a bit of punk as well. You know what I mean? So that's the stuff that I grew up with. AC/DC as well. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Love a
grew
bit
up
of
listening to
AC/DC.
the loud shit.
Yeah.
And then you had my dad who was listening to fucking ABBA.
I think we have to work a bit harder on Gary because I saw him put in bands like Smashing Pumpkins, Green Day, Blink 182. Really, Gary? Come on.
Yeah, he's only 26. He's got to grow up a bit yet.
Oh, by the way, Gary, I am just winding you up. You listen to
I'm
whatever
not.
you want and enjoy it, mate. Whatever you like, enjoy it. That's the thing with music.
So true. I know how much fucking Bobby charges just for mixing,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it'll make your eyes watered.
Well, that album I done, that's the first album I've ever done. Whether it's with a band or myself, it's the first album I've done. I'd only ever done an EP before, but and obviously I don't know what the hell I'm doing with recording most of the time.
I'm not sure I know how to mix and master, Eric. I just fumble along.
That's what I do. I just mess about until it sounds right, you know. But I've got a mate up in Belfast. He was the guy that recorded my old band, the Lufthansa Heist.
Yeah.
He recorded their EP, and he's done a lot of work with a lot of the bands that are getting attention over here in Northern Ireland now. Fantastic producer, Josh Sid Robinson Audio, or JSR Audio. If you want to check him out, have a look at a band called Lock Horns, Ketos with a K, and Survivalist. They're metalcore, most metalcore, but the production is just. But I had an old Waldorf microwave XTK synth.
Yeah.
And second hand, even in rough condition, you know, like missing dials and stuff, it was still worth 1,500 quid. And I was only using it for MIDI. I wasn't even using the wavetable.
Yeah.
element of it to make my own sounds. I didn't have a clue how to work that. So I prefer working with MIDI because it's easier. You can find a tune that resembles what you're after, and then you can tweak it to your liking rather than having to do that from scratch. So when I needed the stuff mixed and mastered, I was lucky because I had that sitting, and I know he does play synth for a lot of the bands that he records. He's a guitarist and a bass player and a vocalist and a drummer as well, bastard. But he multi-talented fucker. But I decided, right, I'm going to just try my luck. I said, have you heard of the Microwave XDK by Waldorf? And he's like, fucking lovely synths. And I was like, do you want one? He's like, I would love one. And I says, I've got stuff that needs mixed and mastered. Do you fancy a straight swap? And it was. I could have got 1,500 for that easily.
Well,
but that's how much he charged.
Yeah.
That was a minimum of what he charged for an
Well,
album.
just for mixing and mastering, Bobby charges £2,000 per song.
Per song?
A song, yeah.
Holy sweet Jesus.
But
Suppose if you're that good, you can command what you
he's
you
in
want.
that demand. But he don't take many sort of just mixing projects now. It's mostly bands that come into the studio when he does the full production and mixing. But he's booked up nearly 12 months a year.
Aye. That's what this guy Josh, he's always booked up
But
as well.
just going back to
He doesn't make that kind of money though.
Eric's comment, I was telling these guys before we went on stream, the most recent mix I've just done for Bobby's thing, Bobby's comments were, the only thing that's wrong with it just needs a little bit less de-essing on the vocals, but apart from that, it's an album ready mix.
Has that been put out yet? The track you mixed? Because
he mixed that. I think I can't remember if it's an album or an EP. So he's done that, and then he gets permission off the band, so we can mix it for ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, have you actually put it out yet though? That mix?
I've not.
Well, the folk are in for a treat because it is fantastic.
I'll have to. What I might do is I could do a mix breakdown. I mean, it'll probably get copyright strike because of the music. 'Cause it's not my music, but yeah, I might do a mix breakdown of that one.
You should, man, because it is.
I think it's
I
worth it,
want to know how you got that amount of space, because it's
LCR planning and automation.
Everything is just, it has its spot.
Yeah,
and it's just, if everything fits perfectly and it sounds massive.
It's all about. Because I know some people say that they use stereo winders. I won't say I've never used one. I have got one, and I think I've used it 3 or 4 times.
I use them a lot.
I'm an advocate of the LCR panning, left, right, centre.
So you done that with no stereo winding?
No stereo winding on it.
Jesus Christ.
Guitar's hard panned.
Yeah.
Kick, snares, down the centre, bass, vocals, mainly down the centre. I think all the vocals, actually no, not all the vocals were down the centre, but some of the vocals have got sent them off to the mono vocals, but sent to a stereo delay track, so you can delay one side, so you get that sort of width to it. And then some of the lead, the sort of lead bits, they're actually panned out to make room for the vocals, because you don't want vocals and leads on top of each other. Yeah, I might do a video
Same kind of
in a few weeks and doing that mix.
No, it's some bit of work, like, it really was. But even I remember even seeing Scott at Chernobyl Studios comment on one of your mixes.
Oh, Scott's a good dude.
And even he said how far your mixes have come. And
yeah.
Holy shit, that last one is a fucking beast. really was.
Well, I don't know if you saw the live show. I think it was the one he did with Adam from Hallpole Studios.
He's a top bloke as well. I like him.
Yeah. It was a song that had been recorded in it, and the only criticism he could come up with, and to me, were more down to personal taste rather than actual criticism. I like a pretty dark sounding snare, but because he said, "Oh, this is pop punk," the snare wants to be a bit brighter. That's the only thing he could really criticise on it. And some of the delay throws, he'd have preferred them in mono rather than stereo. That's one of the things he could criticise on the mix.
Jesus, man. Same again, if that's all it, as I said about the last one, you were saying about the de-essing earlier on the vocals on this last mix that you done there.
Yeah. Well,
if that's
both
the
you guys
only
have
thing
heard that mix.
Yeah, if that's the only thing that they can pick out of that mix, that's a
I think
bloody
it's a
good mix.
phenomenal mix.
Yeah,
I
It
really
is.
think.
Because I mean that's such a minor detail,
No, like I told
and
you guys,
that really is nitpicking, you know. But
get that mix on your portfolio on your website.
totally, you should. You absolutely should.
Yeah,
Because that's one that people,
just wait to get that first client from the website.
if you use that as your
I
front,
keep pushing it. That's all I can do. Keep pushing it. Keep trying to push it in different Facebook groups.
Thing is, once you get those first few people coming to you, mate, as soon as you get that, you get first couple
I
coming to
see.
you.
Then word starts getting around. Oh, try this guy.
Then you're off. When
Yeah.
it's rolling and away you go. Yeah.
yeah,
You should always do the car test, Eric. You've got to try and get mixers sounding good on different systems.
that's one thing that Fricker always says. It might sound great in the studio, but as soon as you take it into a car, whereas where most people listen to music nowadays,
With a car
if
audio.
you can't handle a car audio, then
car audio
you're doing
system is
something
shit.
wrong.
Yeah.
It's
See,
absolutely
the one
terrible.
he says, car and mobile. If it sounds good in car and or mobile,
Yeah.
you should still be able to hear.
You should
A
still be
bit
able
of
to
the
hear the
bass.
guitar.
You
Yeah,
should still be able to
a
hear
bass.
a bit of the bass and a bit of the. He doesn't say it; he shouts it. Very true. Very
He shouts
true.
it!
Um,
Bastards!
if you can still hear a wee tiny bit of the bass and a bit of the kick through a mobile phone speaker,
Yeah.
you've done it right. You know, so long as everything else is leveled properly as well, you know, and EQ'd.
I'm average at best.
Same here. I'm only doing it I'm doing it for fun. Eventually, I want to be able to do it for myself.
Yeah,
for my own stuff. It would be nice, but
What I'd like to do is get it going as a side hustle to start off with and see how it goes. If it takes off, fucking brilliant. If not, then yeah, I've tried it. I've not lost anything.
no, I reckon you're going to get. Like I said, Lee, your mixes are already better than some of the fucking so-called producers and engineers that I've heard over the years.
I know.
You know,
I
they
could
claim
tell
to
a
be
big
professional.
difference between my mixers from even 12 months ago compared to now.
Oh yeah. And Bill, I hate to say it, Dave Lee Roth. Let's just not go there. That's my opinion of Dave Lee Roth. I'm sorry. I think the bloke is, yeah.
Yeah. He's, yeah.
he is a parody of himself.
He is. That was a perfect get out clause. A parody of himself. I like that.
That's why some people love him, though. You know, that's why
Yeah.
a lot of people do love him, because he's just
He's
so
still
over the
Panther
top.
before he Steel Panther were born.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's always. I mean, he still to this day thinks he was Van Halen, doesn't he? He knows.
I think now he's had a bit of humble pie, but when he did get to go back with him,
Van Halen.
he did kind of go back with his tail between his legs, but
Yeah.
And not between Eddie's missus legs.
There now.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely.
that was definitely slightly abusive.
I still say the greatest video was Hot for Teacher.
Was that?
Yeah.
Was the hitting himself in the face with the
Yeah.
nunchucks recently?
Oh,
I say recently,
yeah.
fairly recently.
Yeah,
It's
Was that
hilarious.
Was that when he was going on when Van Halen were going on the Jimmy Kimmel show by any chance?
That's it.
that's the one.
And he
It's
had to
great.
play the opening track for the Jimmy Kimmel show with a bloody nose.
It's when it swings round and you see it come up and go.
Yeah. Because I never saw that part. Because I clicked on. I clicked on, and just as they were starting the song, and I noticed that his nose started gushing blood, and I was like, "What the fuck? That's weird." You know, he's got a nosebleed all of a sudden. I didn't know that's what had happened, but
Yeah,
that's hilarious, man. Give him his
Oh,
due,
I
though. He
believe
still
it.
carried on and done it. Nice.
Every
Lead.
time I feel a bit down, I just go back and rewatch that, and I'm quite happy.
Yeah. And he still fucking managed to do the track perfectly as well.
solid. But
It
I
was
need another
Panama.
drink,
Yeah,
I'll
it
be
was
back in a
Panama.
minute.
So it was. Panama.
Which is a great song anyway.
Yeah.
Van Halen did do some good songs, but
Oh. One of my favourite albums was fucking 1984. I think it
the
was
early albums
1984.
were definitely the best.
What was the one? It was 1984. Wasn't the one with Unchained, was it?
Don't think so, no.
It was the one that had Unchained and Sunday Afternoon in the Park.
There was Van Halen Part 1 and Part 2, which were the early albums.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Panama was on the second one of that.
Right.
Then he did Eruption, which everybody thinks Van Halen did in one take, which he, it was 6 takes cut together. But
yeah, and that's come from the actual producer of the album.
I love the approach to that. The album though that had Unchained and Sunday Afternoon in the Park, because it was all about experimentation with the sounds, doing something a bit different. With,
well, I mean,
you know,
Eddie Van
with
Halen was like
classic
that
rock.
anyway.
Aye. He just
That's
pushed
it.
the
You know,
amplifiers.
how many
to
how many
the limit.
guitars did he butcher up, and then how many
Amplifiers.
amps? Yeah, I mean,
How many
Because
times
Sunday
did he...
Afternoon in the Park. Sunday Afternoon in the Park. See, every time you hear that boom 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 boom, that's him booting the hell out of the amp.
Yeah.
He's kicking the shit out of that amp every time you hear that just slightly overdriven thud on the dum dum. It really fucking works though.
The amount of times he wired things up and blew himself across the garage when he was doing it. It's a miracle Eddie Van Halen lived to the age he did.
yeah,
That's true, Gary. He did do the solo on Beat It. And Billie Jean, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, he did a couple,
And not a lot of people know
and,
this
and
either.
then Michael Jackson.
You guys will know
guitarist, had
because
to learn
you're
it.
musos. You guys will know because you're musos, but not a lot of people know that Stevie Ray Vaughan done the solo on China Girl by David Bowie.
Yeah,
Because David Bowie in the video takes full credit while playing Silk Gloves.
It goes on all the time with
Yeah.
artists, doesn't it? But there's,
well,
especially in the hockey sort of side of things.
well, not just he's like going back to Chris Holmes when he went back into Wasp. They put him down on the album. He's like, I don't want my name on this album. I didn't actually fucking play on it.
Yeah, it's
Why are you putting me
always,
down on this album?
it's just always puzzled me with Chris Holmes because, without a doubt, he was the talent in that band.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, Chris is he really is an awesome guitarist. Blackie Lawless is only good at one thing: whinging. He does a lot of whinging and gets drunk and spends other people's money.
Was that Nile Rodgers? Because I thought that was Stevie Ray Vaughan as well. Because if you listen to there's one part in particular in Let's Dance, it's just as the solo's coming in before the fade out. Before the fade out on Let's Dance, that's a Stevie Ray Vaughan bend. You know Stevie Ray Vaughan just by the vibrato and bend, and I'm pretty sure that was Stevie Ray Vaughan just by the tone coming off that guitar.
I do love listening to a bit of Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Oh, I defy anybody that says that they don't like the guy.
Yeah.
You can't help but love him.
Oh, no, who's that other bluesy guitar player that plays sort of bluesy hard rock? The blind kid that were in Roadhouse.
Oh, that was
Jeff Healey.
Yeah, nice one.
Jeff Healey. I like listening to a bit of Jeff Healey as well.
Canadian,
I'll tell you who else is really good, but has kind of been over popularised nowadays is Joe Bonamassa.
Yeah.
Because he was kind of, him and Johnny Lang were both kind of they were both kind of pupils of Stevie Ray Vaughan. Well, Johnny Lang was kind of taught by Stevie Ray Vaughan in his early years, but Joe Bonamassa lays a lot of his playing down to Stevie Ray Vaughan. But no, Stevie Ray Vaughan he was from another fucking planet, that guy.
Another great guitarist who played a lot of blues. Jeff Beck.
Yeah.
Jeff Beck, great guitarist. It's
Absolutely.
so many
Peter
different...
Green from Fleetwood Mac.
Oh,
One of the founding members.
Yeah.
I had the utmost pleasure of seeing him live, supporting
Never
B.B.
seen him
King.
live, unfortunately.
Well, another gig we were watching other night on
Bill,
with the Hollywood Vampires.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, basically they're just a covers band.
Yeah.
Just a famous covers band, but I'll tell you what, it was good to see Johnny Depp having fun after all that shit he went through last year.
Yep.
Well, for the last few years.
I see Keanu Reeves is going back to music again now.
Yeah.
I think he's, because Dogstar split up for years and they're back together touring again.
Yeah.
I think he's had enough of all the acting business.
Yeah,
Hasn't he?
I think he's just doing odd acting roles and just playing his music these days.
Oh, and he's still, of course, he's got his bike shop, and motorcycles.
Yeah.
He does that. And
Yeah, we'd have liked to come to that as well. Then we saw prices.
oh,
But if we're talking blues rock guitarists, you can't leave John Martin out either.
oh, yeah, true.
Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And I'm so gutted. I could have seen him so many times, because the guy played. There's a ferry in Glasgow, and it went from Partick, which is just between, it's slap bang in the middle between my hometown Clydebank and the city centre of Glasgow.
Yeah.
So on the other side of the River Clyde from Partick was Renfrew, which is Paisley. Still Glasgow, but Glasgow was divided by the River Clyde. So if you wanted to get to Renfrew quick, you went by the Renfrew ferry. But the Renfrew ferry also was a music venue, and John Martin was playing there all the fucking time.
Nice.
I could have seen him so many times, and I didn't even know that he was playing there. And
Yeah, okay.
B.B. King were a good guitar player as well.
If we're going back to that era, then we got to go Son House,
Yeah.
John Lee Hooker, Howlin' Wolf.
Yeah.
Howlin' Wolf.
Oh, Howlin' Wolf,
Holy
yeah.
shit. He
Lot-
had,
you know,
everything. He had the guitar, he had the fucking voice as well.
I mean, what was he? He's about 6 foot 6'5" or something, wasn't he? I mean, he was a beast of a
He
bloke.
certainly sounds
Yeah.
it.
And when he sang, you thought, oh,
Muddy
he's one
Waters.
scary mother.
Come on then, Eric. What amp have you got? It stands for New Amp Day, Mrs.
Robert Cray.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. And as
Gary
Sean
Moore.
says today, Gary Moore.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gary Moore was
Yeah, just
yeah.
like Sean said, yeah. But so many, man. But
You could
No,
you could spend an entire night just going
I'll
through.
tell you one
I
thing.
mean, we'll go back
loved.
to Montreal. Last Eddie, he was basically a blues player.
Mm-hmm. Most of the rock musicians kind of grew up playing blues, though. 'Cause
Wurzel.
it was if you were a rock player in the 70s, there weren't metal bands that you could learn from.
No, you weren't.
Do you know what I mean? There weren't many other rock bands that you could learn from. So you played along to blues or, you know,
I mean, Motorhead had
skiffle and all that shit.
so many good guitarists over the years.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you had Wurzel, Michael Burston.
Well,
You had Robbo, who I know Lemmy and him didn't had a love-hate relationship, partly because of the flip-flops and the shorts, but
The Daisy Dukes.
yeah.
he was a
They
good
were
guitarist.
Daisy Jones, they were pornographic.
Oh,
And Robbo's still going.
Yeah.
I mean,
How
how
the
many
hell
times?
that one is still
How
going?
many times must Lenny have been standing with his back, you know, to the entrance of a bar, and someone must have walked in, went, and copped a feel, and got a punch, you know, and then as he swiftly turned round and. Jesus Christ, man!
But
But
there's
no,
been-
I'll tell you one of the things I loved about BB King is every gig he played, no matter where
Nice
it
one.
was, he would always take gifts for the crowd. Everywhere he went, and without fail, when we saw him in Glasgow, he came out and he was throwing out gold-plated fucking watches for the men and gold fucking necklaces for the fucking women. And we're not just talking like a couple here. We're talking like it was like bags like about that size, full of them.
You know.
It's just there you go, folks. We were up in the balcony, so we missed out on that shit.
Yeah, you're up in cheap seats. Yeah.
It was funny though because he was ancient by then, obviously, but he still played like he was in his fucking 20s, man. Still doing the, still doing the sway, but he'd started to lose all his hair.
Yeah.
So from where we were sitting, we were directly at the point of refraction for the stage lights. So the stage lights literally went bounce, and we were getting the perfect refraction off of the top of his head, so we couldn't actually see his face for the fucking stage lights off the top of his head.
Cool.
But still
Well,
an
what-
awesome gig though.
Yeah, phenomenal guitarist, really.
Yeah.
And a great man.
Yeah.
Really was.
His cousin was the trombone player, I believe, as well.
Yeah.
Oh, and they had two drummers. They had two drummers playing live as well with him. It's the first time I'd ever seen any band with two drummers.
What was he had? It was something like 37 kids and 130
That they know
grandchildren.
of. That they know of. Yeah.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah. He was a modern day Genghis Khan.
I just think the bloke was great.
It's going to get to the stage where, like, 250 years down the line, the history books will show a lineage all stemming back to BB King.
BB King and Chuck Berry.
You know, it's like 1 in 5 men, and this is a true fact, by the way, 1 in 5 men can trace their DNA lineage back to Genghis Khan. That's
Yep.
how prolific a shagger he was.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the same for BB King. You can't help but love the guy.
Nah.
Well, if you're at Marvin, Gary, go and get something to eat.
He wasn't a technical player, but he played so fucking beautifully though.
He was good at what he did.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And it ain't easy to move about that much and play what you're playing at the same time.
It's not easy to play guitar and kick your leg up that high at the same time.
I'll tell you a great guitarist because he looked like a clockwork mouse on stage. Wilco Johnson.
Oh, Wilco, yeah.
My hero, Wilco. It was just
Legend.
on that video, him going backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards.
Fucking legend doing that.
Yeah.
It's great.
You know what? That is one guy I do regret not going to see before he passed away.
Same here. And
Yeah,
I
I
again
didn't.
could have had the chance.
It was also, he was good friends with Ian Jury.
Jury.
And I don't know if anybody's ever seen the video to I Want to Be Normal, which is one of my favourite songs by Ian.
Holy shit.
Go and watch it and watch Wilco Johnson in it because it is fucking hilarious just
The
watching
first time I
Wilco.
saw him
great.
was on the Jules Holland show.
He's such a great man.
I mean, I probably did see him back in the day when he was, you know, in his heyday, but I was too young to remember really. I remember Ian Dury right enough, but the first time I remember seeing Wilco Jones was on the Jules Holland show, and that was his kind of comeback, his big comeback, and he was ancient even back then, and his health was starting to take a tumble, but he was still bouncing about like a loony.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, he had stage at one point. He had stage 4.
Bill.
I think it was liver cancer or something. I can't remember.
It was
now.
liver or Bill, and it was one of those ones.
And they told him, "That's it. You're fucked. You're gonna die."
Yeah.
And he made
Goes
it.
back a week later. Goes back a week later. They tested him again and went, "It's cleared up."
There's the power of positivity for you.
I'm not starting to think. It's on his documentary, and even he said, "I thought I was taking the piss when I said it."
Well, you would. I mean, it's not the kind of thing that just
It's
usually
not normal.
disappears, you know,
Yeah.
of its own accord.
I think the only guitarist I'm not a very big fan of, and a lot of people are, is Eric Clapton.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah,
hardly
I've
agree.
never been a fan of Clapton. I've got to admit.
Again, in the same way as Hank Marvin. I mean, he was
just
always called.
slagging loads of people off and having a good laugh. Usual Saturday night.
I think Clapton to me was. You look at the songs that made Eric Clapton famous, and they weren't his originally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Crossroads was obviously not his.
Well, even when
Robert
he was
Johnson,
with
you know.
even when he was with the Yardsticks, they were all either
Mm.
written by other members or they were covers again.
Yes, he is a talented man.
Yardbirds, sorry, not the Yardsticks, the Yardbirds.
Call them what you like, mate. I like it.
Corrected myself.
I just never a Clapton fan.
But that's why he got the nickname Slowhand in the blues scene, because he was never a shredder like a lot of them. He was just like, I was going to say like with Hank Marvin. He wasn't amazing, but it was just how he done it. You know, he was good at what he done. But
Well, they saw Hendrix and thought, why should I bother?
and I honestly think Eric Clapton, you couldn't help but think, if you were Eric Clapton and you knew it was either going to be him, yourself, Eric Clapton, or Stevie Ray Vaughan that should have died that day. Eric Clapton gave his seat on the helicopter to Stevie Ray Vaughan, and the inevitable happened.
Yep. I agree with that, and it's just been put in. You know, Jack Bruce. I love Jack Bruce. That's him. I think the man was very
Jack Bruce was the
influential.
powerhouse behind that band, if you ask me.
You know, you had the powerhouse behind the drums, who was a fucking lunatic.
Yep.
But what a drummer! He was a heroin addict as well. But you know, take all that away, he was a hell of a drummer. What he could do on a set of drums was phenomenal.
Well, how many times have we said it? All great bands start with the rhythm section.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All great bands. I don't care who it is.
It's
And
the foundation
again,
for any band.
Ginger Baker started with jazz music and then went into like the African style of music. And
Yep.
if anybody's into that sort of era of music, I highly suggest you go and get like Ginger Baker's like the African era of his music, because it might not be what you think.
Here we go. Might want to start an argument here.
Go on,
Satriani.
then. Fight!
Satriani for me.
Satriani was the master, Steve Vai was the pupil. Okay,
I find
he took
Vai a
it- he
bit
took
too
it
flash for
further
my
than-
liking. I know Satriani's flash, but
Steve Vai took it flashier, but Satriani, if it wasn't for Satriani, Steve Vai wouldn't be where he was.
That's a
if you
difficult
were
one, isn't it?
Satriani, you won't have you won't have Kirk Hammett.
No. Oh, now there's a great man. Kirk. Bless him.
He gets
Kirk and
a
his
lot of shit. He
wah
gets a lot of shit, but let's face it, he's renowned for one particular style, and he's just went with it. And not many guitarists do that. They switch things up a lot. Album to album, he's maintained that same sound and that same technique.
I personally would probably go with Stevie. I'd go with Steve Vai. I think out of the two.
If it's for achievements, I would say Steve Vai. But for ability, I would say.
But it's a very close run thing. It would depend on what song at what time it would.
Yeah. But for me,
I find-
it's down to what I'd rather listen to me, Satriani. I think he's got more. It's
more
not just
relatable.
flashy riff
Yeah.
based. Look at what I can do all the time.
I found Joe Satriani's stuff more relatable. It was
Yeah.
easy to listen to.
Yeah.
It was just
Even his
it
stuff
could
where
be
it's
flashy.
all instrumental.
Yeah, it could be like, yes, it could have its moments where it was like, look at what I can do, but it worked for the song. Whereas I found Steve Vai's stuff was that was the whole point. It was create a fucking song around. I'm so fucking good.
Yeah. Actually, you get in there, Eric.
But then again, if it wasn't for Vai, we wouldn't have Devon. Because Devon started out his career with Vai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we're going by achievements, Steve Vai. But music,
It's same as any other art form. It's all down to personal preference.
In that case, if it's down to personal preference, Robert Johnson. Because although he only did 27 songs,
and he was 27 when he died.
Robert Johnson was, without a doubt, probably the most influential guitarist ever.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
How much of his life was true, we'll never know.
Nah, we'll never
You're
know.
never going to know.
We'll never know how much of the legend is true and how much is just legend.
I don't think it was the thing that they built it up to be. I think he owed people money, and
What
he was guilty of messing around with other people's women. Which
I think
is-
what happened with
in
the
that community, it was a big no-no.
oh yeah, I mean the thing with he couldn't play when he went into a club. 3 years later, he went back in the same club and he could play like the right hand of God and all that.
But he disappeared though. He wasn't.
But
seen
3
during
years
those
of that,
3
he
years.
went down. It's in history. He went down to the
Yeah, the
Mississippi
crossroads.
Delta.
Yeah.
So he's gone down there, and I think he spent those 3 years learning.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, nobody saw him for those 3 years.
Yeah.
He could have done a Tom Morello and just disappear off the face of the earth till learn.
Another thing, back in that day, it was easy to disappear for 3 years.
Yeah, it was.
Stevie
like
Ray
that.
Vaughan even done that. Stevie Ray Vaughan even done that.
Yeah.
He got into guitar because Jimmy, the older brother, he got the guitar. And Steve, when he was out, Stevie would nick the guitar and hide in the cupboard or a wardrobe and sit and mess about with the guitar and figure things out. So I think that's
Well, I mean,
basically
that
what happened to Robert Johnson. Was he just disappeared and learned the trade?
I mean, it happened with Van Halen with the brothers, didn't it?
Mhm.
Switching instruments, And
Yep.
I think a lot of it with Robert Johnson was pure, unadulterated. Just he was dedicated.
Yeah.
I think he was a complete bastard at the time as well.
Oh yeah.
If he could steal it, shag it, or whatever, he was doing it. He was the right fucker. But yeah, he
I'd still
definitely
go
was.
Satriani. I do like Santana.
Santana, yeah.
Yeah, don't forget.
There's so many people that you could say, I like this person, I really like that person. It depends on what song it is. It depends on your mood as well.
Absolutely.
On what your mood and yeah, it's a difficult one.
I mean, Christ, how many times we talked about that? You're angry, you want to listen to some angry music. You're depressed, so you want to listen to some depressing music.
You're suicidal.
You want to listen to some slow, depressing Cathedral. There we go, we're back to fucking Cathedral again.
Yeah.
I
You're
must be weird
suicidal.
that way.
If you're suicidal, just put Justin Bieber on.
I must be weird that way, because see, if I'm really down, I put something on that's really brutal and uplifting.
Yeah.
Something that's like, fuck yes, energetic. You know what I mean?
I think we all have like
Or
our own
something
track,
happy.
our own little playlist.
Yeah. I mean, when I used to go
it's
kickboxing,
subjective. It is.
yeah, when I used to go kickboxing, I used to have Black Label Society going off in car on way to training.
To get you ready, pumped up
Yeah.
for it. Yep.
I love a bit of that wild anyway. Love Black Label.
You like his music too, apparently.
Absolutely. Well, every now and again.
I love Zach for his guitar. I mean, his guitar playing, we all know, is phenomenal. But I love Zach for his he's such a comedian.
Yeah, he's humour.
He
He just don't give a shit.
Seems
Yeah,
like
it's-
a genuine bloke as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you get the job in the Aussie band? I was a steroid dealer.
Oh man.
See, Mike, he used to
Yeah.
do weight training with a man of math.
Yeah.
Well, all of them.
It's like when if I've got like if I'm doing chores and I've got chores to do, like I'll put something on like Pendulum,
You're welcome, Eric.
Prodigy, or Chemical Brothers, because it's just pump. It's energetic and it gets you G'd up. No pun intended, but it gets you kind of going.
Yeah. I mean, it's like if I just want to listen to some chilled out rock music, put some Clutch on.
Yeah.
Just chilled out rock and roll.
Yep.
I mean,
I'll tell you one recently. Sorry, Matt.
No, go for it, mate.
One recently, and I'm actually embarrassed to say it. It's a band that I used to love to fucking hate when they first came out. The Hives, right? If you remember, they done that song.
Yeah, I hate to tell you
I
so.
hate to say I told you so. Yeah.
That's the one, yeah. I didn't mind that when it first came out.
And when it first came out, see, as soon as it got to that breakdown,
Yeah.
where it was just the bass, the dum 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 dum.
Yeah.
Do you remember the bass player? He looked so typically Greek, and I just used to think it's bad, man. It's bad. But when it got to that breakdown with the bass, I used to sing along to it with chips, meat, sauce, chips, meat, sauce, because I just thought, this guy looks like he could just walk into a kebab shop and order something from him. Do you know what I mean? But I hated that band so much. And then they went and released a single recently called Bogus Operandi. And holy shit, man, what a track. It's so fucking energetic, and it's a class.
No wrong with that, Mike.
But if you like a wee bit of punk, I strongly recommend, if you haven't heard it, listening to the Hives recent singles, Bogus,
Oh, I've
Operandi,
listened to that.
and can't remember the other one's name, but they are fantastic wee tunes.
Yeah, it's like I keep telling everyone is, mental health and music are a real close thing.
Yep.
Because if
Yeah.
you've got,
Oh, Christ, how many times have we talked about that?
if you've got, and I'm not saying everybody in here's fucking lost the plot, apart from me, but if
Really?
you've got mental health problems, be it depression, anxieties, or all these other things, music is definitely a big thing. It's
Yeah.
it can help you. It brings your mood up a bit.
Well,
Mhm.
well,
Takes
I
your
mean,
mind away
I'll
from
tell you. I
that.
mean, I wrote a song a couple of years back. I mean, me and Lisa lost a baby. And yeah, that song helped both of us pull through it, or partly pull through it, shall I say? That was my way of coping with that. Same when my mum passed away last year.
Yeah.
Might have helped you doing that one for Cookie. It had me in fucking tears, you dickhead.
And me.
Well, saying that,
It
I've got
was.
to admit, I fucking struggle to listen to it these days. We aren't well enough.
Don't fucking blame me, man.
And I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about saying it.
But that's the good thing, though, is
Yeah.
somewhere down the line, you're going to look at that and you're going to go, no, that was actually, you'll listen to it with different ears.
Yeah.
Somewhere down the line, and it'll actually lift you.
You can
It'll,
put all
it'll
that.
turn something from a tragic period into a positive, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because without getting into it, that's what the album is. That's what my album is all about. That's why it's called Lockdown.
Me too.
It's
Thing is,
all about aye. The album
Over
is
the years,
dealing with
we've all
mental
dealt-
health.
Still looking for me marbles.
Mental health
We've all dealt
during
with
the
that
lockdown.
stuff,
You know what I mean?
deaths and
Mhm.
loss and getting a bit depressing now. But all of that stuff, but losing a child is, yeah,
Jesus, man.
that's a whole other level. And Lisa and Lee have been through some real hard times, but that song, I think, is a great way of putting your words down, celebrating Cookie,
Mhm.
celebrating your love for Cookie, and all of that. It's that emotion that goes with it.
It's a catharsis.
It's a fucking hell, mate. I honestly don't think I could do something like that.
You think that, but I mean, it's one of those things. If that's what you want to do at that time,
Yeah.
you've transferred all
definitely.
that feeling.
I don't want to say pulled me through, but it definitely helped.
Mm-hmm.
It helped me get my emotions out, shall I say?
Mhm.
Again, that's what that whole album's about, man.
Yeah.
That pulled me through, man. That's what kept me going. It gave me something. It gave me a purpose again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, music's definitely is a healer. Absolutely.
Yeah. It is. It's a great thing to help people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see quite a few people in here who use music in that way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think the majority of people do. Whether it's to drag themselves out of a positive or to keep a positive frame of mind going.
Yeah.
That's what music's all about. Is to keep you in a good frame of mind.
Yeah,
Or to help you reflect about something. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, how many people have said to Lemmy when he was alive, "Your music pulled me through a bad situation"?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've been through a
thousands
lot
of
of
people.
bad situations as well.
There's some people tend to see Motorhead for Ace of Spades, Killed by Death, all those songs. But there are songs that Lemmy did that, when you listen to them, are real heartfelt songs.
Yeah.
like the Battle of Passchendaele, you know. If you listen to that and about dying soldiers and death, and it's a really upsetting song, terrible. And then you've got Don't Let Daddy Touch Me, which, if I need to tell you what that's about, yeah, I'm sure people can guess. But Lemmy sung it in such a way, and the lyrics he put to that were fucking hit home.
Yeah, I mean,
Really
I've got Motörhead on in car at the minute, and when I went out earlier on,
Yeah.
fucking 1916 come on, and it's like, yeah, that did actually bring a bit of a tear. I'm not ashamed to say it.
It does.
It's the way he sang it. It's the way it was arranged, put together, and you could tell that he read up big time on that, and he put a lot of feeling into that song.
Yeah. I think that's what people forget about Lemmy. He's a lyricist. He was brilliant.
Well, that's it. A lot of time they just hear, oh, it's Motörhead. They just see, like you say, Ace of Spades, Killed by Death, I'm So Bad Baby, I Don't Care. They don't realise they've got this fucking huge catalogue of songs that actually mean something. Yeah. He'll do the fucking nonsense songs every now and again. He admits that. You need them every now and again.
Yeah, you do. You also need songs like Eat the Rich.
Yeah.
I just love the lyrics in that.
That's a proper punk song, that one. Just the whole feel of it's just punk all over.
And of course, in the film, you had Shane McGowan in it as well.
I need to watch that film again. I've not watched it for years.
I have that on my playlist on the telly. Just above Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap, yeah. I fucking love that film. Spinal Tap and then Bad News 1 and 2.
Yeah. It goes to 11. It's louder than 10. Why don't you just put that 10 louder?
It's just the absolute look of confusion.
That's a rare guitar. Don't even look at it.
Isn't 10 like just as loud as this?
No, these are one louder.
But this is the 11.
Oh, that's a serious place doing that.
Oh, fucking genius.
You know what?
The whole
They
thing
might have
about
to
the
do that
drummers.
as a watch party, but one stream. Spinal Tap.
Oh yeah, that'd be brilliant, man. The whole thing about the drummers as well, just every drummer meets a
What's happened to your
grim
drummers?
end.
Well, they'll keep spontaneously combusting.
The best one is the one that's standing, the door in the hotel room goes, and the drummer goes to answer it, but he stands like to the left of the door, and it just goes, and smushes him up against the wall. Then it's just the next time you see them live after that is a new drummer, obviously. Introducing.
What happened to Stumpy Joe? Well, he choked on vomit. We don't know whose vomit it was, but it was somebody's vomit. There's no test for all they can do on whose vomit it was.
The fucking the henge.
Yeah.
The henge. It's
A
about that
6-inch
size.
Stonehenge monument that's going to get crushed by a dwarf.
Yeah, well, you know the dwarf that's dancing across. That was Bill.
Oh man.
It's so stupid films like that. But I love stuff like that. I really do.
Because it's spot on, but at the same time, it's paying tribute to the scene.
Yeah.
Well, that's
There
it.
is a lot of stupid shit.
See so many interviews with bands that have said everything in that film happens on fucking tour.
Mm-hmm.
And more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bill the Hobbit.
All right, Eric, we'll catch you later.
See you
See
later,
you later,
buddy.
buddy.
Night, dude. Thanks
So,
for the
so
sub.
what you get living an hour in front of us.
Oh, the amount of abuse that I do feel over the years is unbelievable. He knows I love him, really.
Somebody has to.
No, you're a good bloke, yourself. I bet you Gary's thinking, what the fuck's he for Rick? If you've
What's
not seen it, find it. It's comical. Very.
Yeah, but Block, he's not like us monsters that can do it all now. He's a bit poor, is our Eric, in that situation. 2 blondes and he's down.
That's what me, I don't drink.
Oh,
the
when
exact
you
same.
said 2 blondes, I was thinking of something else.
Well,
I was going to say, usually after 2 blondes, I'm in trouble as well.
Oh, man.
oh, excuse you. Oh, we can go on all night, we don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can waffle for hours.
Absolutely. We usually do.
I did regularly on the channel.
I was going
The
to say,
6 and 7 hour streams were a regular thing.
yes, they were, yeah. Yeah, and Jackbox sometimes got out of hand.
Yeah.
But it was hilarious. I've actually
Oh,
been asked to
some of the
bring that
comments.
back. I get asked by, Nick, Daily
Yeah.
Vape. I get asked, he said, dude, bring that back, please.
But when I did it on his channel, when I was putting the answers in like I always do, Nick shit himself.
Because he didn't know if it, he didn't know if it was like, are you allowed to do that shit on this?
I think he thought they were a little bit dark. I must admit, some of them were.
It's probably, I think it was just shock because,
You can't
let's
put
face
that.
it, the guys that I'd done the show with they're a lovely bunch of people, really, really freaking just really genuine folk.
Oh yeah.
And if you're just coming onto the stream, if you were just coming onto the
Tell me
stream,
something
like
we
Nick
don't know,
was,
Bill.
they would have been like, oh, these are really nice, polite, genuine folk, and then Jackbox goes on.
Well, to be fair, they were nice people.
Shit just went to the left field.
They were nice people. They were just slightly unhinged.
Yeah, that's what I loved about them. It was the humour. So I think Nick was just kind of taken aback at first, at how dark it went.
Yeah.
But now he doesn't give a fuck. He's just as bad these days,
The guy I miss most, is Scott.
Black
Cat,
Hat.
what?
I was just talking about him the other day. I really miss him, man.
Still on my Facebook.
And Stan as well.
Yeah, I mean Stan's going through a bit of a
Yeah, I heard, man.
rough time at the minute. Not saying what, but he's having a shit time.
Yeah, but
Um,
Scott was just, I'm just going to say it now. I love Grim Green. He is
Yeah.
fantastic, and he is the best out there. But when Black Cat was on, Black Cat was the best. He was the
funniest
best on.
Oh, Gaz. Love Gaz.
Yeah.
If any, I think most guys in chat probably ever saw Scott, but Black Cat Whiteface, one of the funniest Americans you will ever talk to, honest to
Yep.
God.
Yep.
And his missus Veronica, sorry.
It's her
Also
birthday yesterday.
fucking
It was her birthday
hilarious.
yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, such a nice guy and just
But,
comical.
no, I spoke to him just on Messenger, but I spoke to him a couple of months back. I just thought, just drop a line, just because I was thinking about him, and I ended up watching one or two of the old streams, and I just thought, I'm just going to message him, tell him I'm thinking about him, and I was like, alright, how's it going? Miss you, man. And I just said, any chance of you coming back at any point, because we all miss you. And he said,
Yeah.
doing really well, but had to get away, had to get away from it all, and it just wasn't fun. What we were talking about earlier,
Yeah.
it just wasn't fun. So why flog a dead horse? Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, Scott had a lot of addiction problems. I don't
He
think
did,
Scott
he
would mind
did.
me saying that.
he did, yeah. Oh, he talked about it freely, because I mean he had the bit at the end of every show,
Yeah.
and it was the talk about addiction.
But Scott, if you asked him, he would tell you what he
He was
did,
an open
how.
book.
Yeah, he just put it out there, just didn't give a shit.
He
Well,
was
he's
one-
such an honest
he's
guy.
one of those guys, like, there's a lot of people you see on YouTube and you're like, yeah, I know you're a really lovely person, but I know that this isn't the real you.
Yep.
But I can still tell you're a lovely person, but this isn't the real you. You're forcing it a wee bit. Scott, you knew for a fact that's exactly how he was in real life. He was just, he was totally genuine.
The morning my daughter was born, Gwendolyn, the morning she was born, I put on Facebook, just quickly, she was born. Within 30 seconds of me putting that on Facebook, Scott fucking phoned me on Messenger
He's a
saying,
genuine.
congrats, buddy, well done, blah, 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 blah. I said, I ain't done fuck all. I said, I ain't done any work.
What he meant was, congrats, it's all still working.
I did work, your Viagra work. Well done, mate.
He's an absolute diamond. So he is.
He is a lovely man.
But, nah. I wish he would come back sometime, even if it's just something different. I don't care what it is he does. It could be he could go on to reviewing wallpaper, and it would still be fantastic.
And it would still be funny as it
Yeah,
stopped.
absolutely. And when him and Charlie got together, Jesus Christ, that was hilarious, man. Because they were two totally different guys,
Yeah.
and they were
But
just
it's
they
like
bounced
you
off
watch,
each other so well.
you watch some channels and you can tell it's forced humour.
Yeah,
Oh, not with Scott.
no.
I mean, it's like his missus, his good lady, to come home from work and he'd still be doing a fucking show and get in trouble. Get in trouble.
What's for dinner? What's for dinner? Are you putting the dinner on now?
Because there was none of this falseness to him.
Nah.
None. Yeah, Stan, I do miss Stan.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, last time I spoke to Stan, he was not in a good place. He
No.
came on a show, turned up 15 minutes late, which is not Stan.
No. He was usually
And
in
Stan
the
was,
room before.
well, all I shall say is he was wrecked. Big time.
He popped up on one of Nick's Twitch streams. He popped up and he played Call of Duty with him.
And you could
there was
see-
but that was the first time I'd heard of him in like 3-4 years.
Oh, is that what we were playing with a couple of weeks back? When we jumped in about 4 o'clock in the morning.
No, that would have been either Dez or maybe Demo.
If it comes up as
Tenacious, that was Stan.
that's Stan.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I mean, Stan.
I think even his gamer handle was Tenacious.
Yeah, he's got. If anybody's interested, he's doing an Instagram channel now. He's building an American car of some sort.
Yeah.
But
He
he's
did
very
have the
cool.
YouTube channel, but I don't know if he's bothering with the YouTube anymore.
Me and Stan got on really well because of the engineering background I've had, and obviously that is something he is. So me and Stan on a few times were on shows where we'd end up having an argument over something pointless. Everybody thought it was serious. It really wasn't. It was just us two being a pair of muppets.
Banner. Yeah, banner.
But yeah, Stan, I think he's gone through a bit of a crap time, I think.
Yeah, I wish him all the very best.
But believe me, if by any miracle you watch this, we do love you.
Yep.
And miss you.
Yep.
Really
and
do.
Scott and anybody else.
And Scott, yeah.
Scott and Stan especially, because those guys were gems.
Yeah, they were.
Absolute gems.
But at the same time, like I said before,
Sorry, I'm talking in past tense.
YouTube,
Because I'm not on YouTube anymore.
It's not all about YouTube, and they've got their own sort of lives.
Yep.
And hopefully everything in their lives works out for the best. That's all I wish.
Absolutely.
Scott's doing great from what I've seen. He's loving life.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, you can just look at him in recent photos, and you can just tell he's in a good place, man.
Yeah.
Cool. That's good.
And I did wonder at one point if he'd gone back into that sort of addiction type thing.
I was worried myself, but I don't
Crossed
think
my mind, you know.
I think he maybe gave himself a scare and maybe had thoughts of, but I don't think he ever did. You know, because he just, you'll know yourself from watching him when he talked about his, you know, recovery and that. He was like, you could tell that he worked really fucking hard for it, and he lost a lot through it as well. But
I don't think
he gained so much after it that he knows, having gone through what he went through, he knows what's
Alright, Bill, catch you later, buddy.
I think if he did it again, I think that would probably be him. Good night, buddy.
But no,
I think that would
fantastic.
be him and Veronica would probably be, you know, that'd be it.
No, they still.
But they're both very happy together, and
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
and doing well. He's constantly getting in trouble for things he shouldn't be doing.
I'll tell you one thing he did say when he replied to me, and he said, doing well, just had to take a break and all that, and it was starting to not be fun anymore. He did say, I'm still on the Twitters giving everybody what's for though. So he's still just as big a vape advocate, you know. He's still on Twitter,
done shot
pointing the finger at the naysayers, you know. But
good.
So he says he's still fighting a good fight, but he just can't do it on YouTube anymore.
The fact that he had some phenomenal builders on that show. I don't know, a lot of people on here probably aren't into the coil building scene, but
and me,
you know, he had some real good builders, didn't he?
and then me.
I was including you in it, yeah, fucking.
That was one of the. I couldn't watch that because I tried watching it and I wasn't actually on it, but it was him focusing on my builds on Instagram, and I mean I'd only been doing it for about a year and a half, 2 years by this point, and he's saying, you know, like he used to do, I think this is such and such a coil, and he's looking at one of the braids that I'd done, and he went, look at that, that's gorgeous, and he says, I don't know the name of this one, and Nick Devine was co-hosting with him, so I was like, you know, because these are two of my fucking absolute icons to me, you know, that I looked up to, especially Nick, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh shit, they're talking about my fucking builds, they're critiquing them. And so he points out one of the braids, and it was after this that I just stopped watching, because I'm in chat and I said, right, this is such and such a coil, and Nick would say, no, I think that's actually the name of this one, and I would get the names completely wrong. I didn't even know the names of the shit I was building. Do you know what I mean? It says this one's a diamondback slantra braid, and then Nick would go, no, that's just a diamondback, there's no a slantra in that, and I'm like, right, no, I'm out. It was cringy, man.
It's always is when you're looking at something you've done or when you've done it. It is always the same. You don't want to hear it. You don't want to see it. It's
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong.
it's like,
Don't,
oh no,
don't get me
I
wrong.
have done,
I was
I've done a
proud.
good job. Please don't criticise it too much.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was proud of what I'd done, and I was proud of the photography, because I mean it's macro photography, and
Yeah.
it's like it's down to minute
oh, them braids were
movements
gorgeous.
of the
mate.
focus. Do you know what I mean? To get the macro, and then you need to stack all the photos together so that everything's in focus, and
Yeah.
lots of photo editing, like getting out.
Believe
little
me, those
spots.
braids. He's put himself down here. These braids. That
No,
he did
no,
were fucking
that's what I was going to say.
gorgeous.
I was proud of them. I was proud of them, but it was the fact that I didn't even know the fucking names of the stuff that I was building. I just thought you should. It didn't look like I was that into it, you know. And I was like so into it at the time, but I
That's
just didn't. I was winging it. I was really fucking winging
Yeah,
it.
but you were doing like 7 and 9 braids, and I still can't get past 5.
Yeah. I even done at one point. I done a 7 loop, sorry, with 4 strands on each finger. At one point, a Celtic, but I done it with 32 gauge, and it came out like about that fucking width. Each rip was about that width. I kid you not.
All
And it
right,
was
when
like
he sneezes and
trying to get it coil. I'm like,
Oil, you bastard.
good times, man. Good times.
There don't seem to be many coil builders coming through anymore, to be fair.
You'd be surprised, man. Asian kitten, she's one to look out
Yeah.
for. Marie, Swedish woman. She's a wee gem as well. But she is a demon builder. She holds the record now for the fastest staggering. She done the whole. We're talking from scratch, right? Like you start off, you've got your snips and everything laid out in front of you ready. You've got the spools of wire laid out in front of you that you're going to use. That's how you start. And as soon as the clock starts, you take the wires off, you get them measured out, cut them, blah blah blah, put the course together, and it's ribbon that she was using. She done this in like, I think it was under 3 minutes.
Holy shit.
Under 3 minutes for a fucking a staggering with a
Takes
fine
me
staple.
longer. Takes me longer than that to just stack the ribbon.
And it was something ridiculous, like 40 gauge she was using for the fuses. So she would, and she didn't use fucking magnifying goggles or anything. She's just doing this like, at some point she's not even looking, and it's just like, right, that's off, coil,
Yeah.
done.
Jesus.
She holds a record, and she does. It's not just like the traditional coils. She does with sculptures as well.
Right, yeah. I mean, some of them are true out and out artwork.
Oh yeah,
Merlin,
Merlin 71. That was Kim Dixon that done the Saturday Night Vapor. That's her hobby, but he used to do sculptures, and he's got one, and it was like a bonsai tree.
Yeah, I remember him doing that.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Talion, builds by Talion. He used to do a lot of sculptures as well.
There are some of the guys that build, and it isn't just about the vaping thing, it's just what they're able to build.
Yeah. Very
Gary, what do you
intricate
expect
stuff.
on this channel?
It's beautiful. I mean, really,
I told
it
you,
is.
Gary, I'm a man of eclectic tastes. But no, it is proper, intricate detail. I know at least 2 builders that have actually gone on to do bespoke jewellery
Yeah,
from doing coil building, you know, because they're doing such intricate.
Gary, we haven't gone full
Grades.
engineering yet.
But the thing is, it's not a big jump, is it, from coil building to jewellery building? It's
No.
not that big
No.
a jump.
Because one of the people that I used to learn the braiding from was she had a channel. She still has it. She still does it. Loop Braider on YouTube. But she's not a coil builder. But she's got like a sort of compendium of every single traditional braid throughout history, recorded history. Any time a braid was done and recorded, it's in this fucking book, and she would do it live on her channel. So I learned a lot of the braids from watching her channel. But it was, she would use like wool, sometimes she would use like copper wire, and some of the stuff she was doing was just incredible. It's really, really intricate.
And then you've just got to heat them just so you get that beautiful blue
colour. Oh yeah, get that lovely blue rainbow effect.
Yeah.
I've got a few coils that I've done that are on Fate, that are on Insta. Nothing great.
I saw them.
You know, I'm not, with me, it's just messing about, so keeps me happy.
Yeah,
I loved it.
I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
I've tried building my own coils once or twice. It's not gone that well.
It doesn't need to. See, so long as it vapes and you had fun doing it, that's all that fucking counts.
Do you know, the simplest coil you'll ever make, right?
Just simple round wire coil, yeah.
No, use round wire. Twist round wire together.
Yeah.
You've got a twisted
Yeah.
coil, right?
Yeah,
that works well.
Another
The
one
next
that's really
stage on
simple
pro-
but looks fantastic. Just what Matt said there. Do one twist, right? Twist it anti-clockwise, right? No, that's that way. Anti-clockwise. And then do another one with the same wires, but do it clockwise. And then you've got two opposing
You've got a zipper.
shapes like that in a zipper coil. But it looks beautiful, and when you put it together, you wouldn't know that it's two separate core wires. You know, it looks like it's all part of the same thing.
Yeah.
Really easy. It's easy to do.
Yeah.
I mean, a
I
Clapton coil.
I used to do them. I would get the wire, loop it through a cup handle, a mug handle, and then just spin the cup, and the wire would just twist itself, and just keep doing that until it wouldn't spin anymore. And that's how I done my zippers. Just use that. Saves you having to sit there doing that for hours.
Clapton coil. I mean, Clapton coil. The only thing you go is getting your tension right on the wire and your angle.
Yeah.
And there are ways around that. The closed peg trick works well.
Yep. I always used closed pegs, even for fuse Claptons. I would always use a core gripper of some sort.
Yep.
Well, I said of some sort. It was always Lego that I used.
Lego
always
works
use two
well.
pieces of Lego, the two flat pieces.
Now you
Put
can
two
get
of
the
them
3D printed blocks.
Smarties, I think they were called. Yeah. No, it was good fun. I've toyed with the idea of doing, like, just for fun, another braid again. Nick wanted me to go onto his channel again recently, Nick Devine.
Yeah.
He wanted me to go onto his channel and do a build with him, but I don't have half of the stuff I used to have now. So I couldn't get building, but I'd love to do it again just for the
If you're
fun
not
of
doing
it.
it as much these days, you're not going to have half the stuff, are you?
Nah. Still get the tools, I just don't have the wire. It ain't cheap. That was the other thing that didn't keep me in it for long, was the fucking cost. The cost of the wire just kept going up and up.
I was going to get some wire. I was going to buy some wire the other day, right, from Wire Optimum in America.
That was the last order I ever got of wire.
Really good wire.
Wire.
And a good
Fantastic.
price,
Yep.
because they had a good discount on it.
Yep. Especially if you were from out of the country.
But the problem was, because it's America, to send it to here, it's only $36 for shipping.
Yeah.
Aye. And sometimes I heard of people getting having to pay for the ridiculous
Import
price
tax.
for the shipping.
Yeah.
They would get hit with that sometimes as well on top, and it was sometimes more than the actual order cost.
Yeah.
You know, so
Right.
It's, like a pedal I got from from this firm in Canada. The actual pedal itself was 67 quid. It worked out to $33 Canadian dollars fucking shipping. What the fuck? I mean, I still bought it, and I've yet to do a video on it, but I'll tell you what, it's worth every fucking penny.
I like when you get ones like that.
Yeah,
It's not
it's
enough.
worth every penny.
It's
At the same
definitely a
time-
kick in the nuts, though, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
But the thing is, see that import tax, see that if it was sold over here in the UK, it would probably still be more.
Yeah.
It would
oh
cost
yeah.
more
If
probably still.
it had been a UK seller, they'd have fucking doubled that price easily.
It would have been about 120 quid
Yeah,
minimum,
easily.
probably. If
Uh,
it was 60
I think
Canadian.
it's a fucking phenomenal pedal. I've used it secretly in one or two
Hang on.
videos. Secretly.
Canadian, you said?
But I'm going to do a full video on it. So
Did you say you got it's a Canadian pedal?
yeah, from a company called Guptech,
Oh, that's
GUP
not the
Tech.
one I'm thinking then.
Nah,
It's not the one I'm thinking of then. I thought
Nah.
I thought it was the cock blocker you were going to say.
no, it's not the cut. Jesus Christ, I can't afford one. They were fucking 200 quid when they come out.
See, I got the precision drive when I get the first run.
Yeah,
I think mine's was 180. Number 180 precision drive. From
the
the first
original
run.
Precision Drive, but I have got the Demon FX one.
Aye. This thing, I got it as a present though, but it was 280. That's before shipping.
Yeah.
It was ridiculously
I mean-
priced, but like you said, worth every.
I mean, I would
penny.
love to try that Aldous pedal out of the Chug, but I'm not paying that price for the distortion pedal.
The chug pedal.
Yeah,
It does look really nice. I like some of the features on it,
yeah.
but again, yeah, it's pricey, man.
I think 200, about €200, £200. I think it's a bit much for
But
a distortion
by all
slash
accounts-
preamp pedal.
By all accounts, from everything that I've heard, because I've spoke to a couple of guys in the Discord channel, and they've got them, and by all accounts, it sounds like it is worth every penny.
Oh
Just
yeah,
like-
I mean,
just like the precision drive. Do you know what I mean?
the guy who I know in Canada who got me to get in touch with More Audio, he's got one. He loves it. But then again, he's a big fucking Ola fan as well. But he's opened it up and had a look at the guts, and all the guts inside it are made in China. Even he says he could have done it a lot cheaper.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of stuff like that.
If you can, if you can do it, fantastic. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
if you don't know what you're doing, then you've no choice but to pay it. Unfortunately,
yeah.
if you can afford it. Do you
But yeah,
remember?
I would have liked the cut block of it. I weren't paying nearly £200 out for a fucking noisy 8.
I haven't heard a bad thing about it, but it's
No,
don't-
I've
don't-
not.
I
I've
don't
not heard
like-
anybody say anything
I
bad
don't,
about it.
I don't like that tone, that Swedish fucking black metal tone. I really don't like that tone. You know, the Swedish chainsaw.
Yeah,
It's too scratchy for my liking. I know it's got its it's got its
he's got his place.
uses.
Yeah,
Aye.
I mean, I've not got the original. I'll get it out in a minute. I've not got the original HM2 pedal, but I have got the Behringer version, the HM300, and it's not far off. It's not far off that sound.
Do you remember the old Dodd?
Yeah,
It was a purple distortion pedal. I can't remember
That's
what
right,
it's
yeah.
called. It was something Smasher, I think.
I think it was. I have got one. No,
For its time,
is it not?
it sounds like some of the metal tones that people are going for nowadays. And this is like back in the early to mid 90s that this thing was released. I think they re-released it kind of fairly recently, but it wasn't anywhere near as good as the original. Bass pedals.
I don't have any bass pedals. Yeah, I've got a couple of bass guitars, but all the bass I record, I just record DI, and then I use some sort of amp sim in all my
I use amp
recordings.
sims now. I use amp sims now, but when I did use pedals, I was very minimalistic because it was all punk that was the only thing I needed effects for at the time. So I had a rat pedal,
Yeah.
because I know I'd heard Nick Oliveri's tone on Songs for the Deaf, Queens of the Stone Age, and that's what he used.
Yeah, I've heard that as well.
But he was able to get a really deep, growly, sludgy bass tone, really heavily distorted, but it sounded smooth.
Yeah.
And then he could have a really
That's
scratchy.
another thing going back
bass
to mixing. A lot of people don't realise a distorted bass tone behind that main bass tone smooths everything out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Well,
what
see, now I do it different.
9 times out of 10, I'll have 2 bass tracks. One that's got that sort of main bass tone with, if you will, a bit of grit behind it, and then a really heavily distorted bass tone behind it, just a bit lower in the mix, but it's just focused on that mid-range. That
See, what I've started doing now,
2 to 3K range.
What I started doing now is, because I did, excuse me, I'm going to absolutely butcher your name, I apologise. I'll call him Block, sorry, Block.
Yeah, that's what we do, we call him Block.
Thank fuck. I had the Dark Glass amp sim, and when I first got it I was like, dude, this is stunning. And then I got the Parallax, and it's just in a different league. The Parallax.
Is it? I've not tried the Parallax, I have got the Dark Glass.
Oh, Lee, swear to God, man. Do you know what the beauty of the Parallax is? Like, anybody that does mixing knows the best way to get like you were talking about, getting a good tone, and you hit it right in the head. You'll have one clean tone and one heavily distorted tone, and you just blend them together. The Parallax does all of that for you. It splits. What it does is it splits everything below, say, 250 to 300.
Yeah.
Keeps that clean, and then it'll give you the option to either only distort the mid tones or the high tones, or you can distort both of them, the mid tones and the high tones, but you can mix them to varying degrees to get it to blend nicer, so the bottom end doesn't get all farty, so you're getting a right clean distorted tone. But what I've started doing recently is I've doubled up. I've started using another clean track.
Yeah.
Even although I'm not distorting the low end with Parallax, I'll still have another clean track, because I've started blending it so that the clean mids start coming through a bit more.
Yeah. Well, there's another bass amp sim does a similar thing to that. It's called the Mammoth by Aurora DSP.
Ah, yes, I've got it. It is brutal.
Yeah.
And I've got that after watching Cola Kellis.
Yeah.
I
did a video on that.
His review was just perfect.
Yeah. I'll call it, yeah. He's a pretty funny guy for a German.
I love that dangle tone, as he calls it. And I wanted that so bad.
Well, there's Matt knows this. I've yet to do a video of it. I've got the Lemmy amp sim. I've used that on a couple of tracks recently. That fucking sounds good. You can get some good tones out of that.
Do you know one that I had a real hard time with getting the tone for was the Igor cover that I done?
Yeah.
I think it's the last one that I done, actually, if I'm not mistaken. But that bass tone, I had to use 3 separate distortion amp sims.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I used I started with one, and I thought, it sounds nice and it sounds really heavy, but it needs more.
Yeah, needs more grind.
Yeah, the tone that's in the original it's a real industrial distortion.
Yeah.
It's almost like because distortion is basically like really high compression, extremely high compression. So if you want it to be even more distorted, you need even more compression. So I thought, right, they're obviously using distortion to the point where it's that compressed it's starting to sound like a synth, but it was all bass, but it sounded almost synth-like. So I thought, right, one distortion's not enough, try two, and it was the same again. It was like getting close, and then I thought, fuck, I'm just going to throw another one on. In the meantime, my CPU's going, no more amp sims.
Yeah.
But it kind of...
Fucking hell, mate, you should see some of my sessions in Studio One.
Right, give me 2 seconds. Lisa asked me to show her my instrument.
Hey, whoa, family channel. honest gov.
Give me 2 seconds and I shall
Absolutely,
whip it
man.
out. Stop that. Still here.
He's got to take his trousers off to get his instrument out.
Well, hey. It's not that kind of stream. Leave that for his OnlyFans.
Well, not yet. It's the time's getting close to that time. Yeah.
Well, yeah. We nearly at midnight.
We'll get you guys get the 10-minute free view.
Yeah. The 10-minute free dog of the day.
What there?
Better that one then. Burp.
He must be putting his posing pouch on.
Yeah, I think that's coming from G, that home.
I think it was, yeah. I'm not sure what it was. Possibly something in the room or something, maybe.
Yeah. If it's got bad electrics, it'll cause a ground hum.
Could be.
Back. This is my baby.
Nice.
It's a Warwick.
Oh,
Warwick
makes some nice
Infinity
bass.
rock bass. This is the low end of the Warwick range, believe it or not. But it's... I've played Warwicks in instrument shops, so I know what a Warwick should sound like, and this sounds just the exact fucking same.
Yeah.
It's just cheaper wood
That's
and
nice, that.
cheaper mechanical parts, but it sounds the same.
And
it's active as well.
Yeah. Both mine are active.
With my two-tone, of course.
I've got both basses of mine is pretty cheap. The 4-string I've got is a Harley Benton, but that plays really nice.
Played a Harley Benton recently, and it was really nice.
Yeah, I've got to admit, I played 2 or 3 Harley Bentons, and they've all been good. In fact, I got my son a Harley Benton Les Paul style guitar a few years back for his birthday, and it's not like that Gibson style Les Paul. It's more like an ESP style Les Paul, and it plays lovely. Yeah, the 5-string bass I've got, and I only got the 5-string because I've got the 7-string guitars.
Yeah,
it's just a cheap one from a company called Gear for Music.
Yeah. I've got a couple of things from them. They're really good, actually.
I dropped on with that. That another beanstalk, and it come with this is included in a hard case, 129 quid.
Yeah. Yep.
But
Tolman are good for that as well.
Yeah, Tolman do some good bargains. I've got an affiliate link. It's down in the description.
See, Sean is absolutely spot on there.
I have looked.
They are beautiful basses.
Yeah,
but they aren't cheap. That one, as I said, that's the lower range of Warwicks, and that brand new should be about $1,000.
I mean, I'll
But
show
I
you
was
my
lucky.
sort of prize guitar that's in the collection that's never going to fucking leave the collection. Matt's seen this a number of times.
Oh, he's had it out on camera before.
PRS.
Yeah.
Oh,
Washburn as well.
jeez. The
Washburn
Washburn
dime.
one.
Yeah.
You lucky bastard.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
You
Really is.
fucking Washburn one, dude. Have you
You
showed
see,
all
you're
of that?
If you're on about basses, there is only one bass that I would want.
Ernie Ball Music Man.
Rickenbacker.
The Rickenbacker.
No. There's one bass that I absolutely dream of owning, and it's a Dingwall.
Oh, nice
It's-
one, mate.
And it's not just because everybody's playing a Dingwall these days. Everybody's playing a Dingwall these days for good fucking reason. They are stunning. There's a guy I watch on Twitch. He plays a Dingwall 5, fan fret 5, and he hardly ever changes the strings, but you should hear the fucking tone off of this thing. Even with old strings, it still kicks that thing's arse. I hate to say it, but that Warwick is gorgeous as well. But this thing is just these things.
Yeah,
are
that
beasts.
that Washburn never leaves the fucking house.
I was going to say, have you showed Ola that?
No.
You should send him a picture of that, man, because he absolutely adores the the Dean.
Oh,
crosses.
yeah.
But
I've seen all his
obviously
dance collection.
that's where he started, was the Washburns.
Yeah. Well, that one. I must have had that one 18, 20 years. I've had that one now. I think I've got it just. I think it was about a year or two before he passed away.
Fuck. I just noticed what Lisa had said. I would have probably have been the exact same if I owned it. I would have to say.
Yeah,
that thing would never ever leave the house.
She did a boudoir photo shoot. Can I take your guitar? Can I take your dime? No. Can I take your Zaki? Go on then. You can have that one. Yeah, I've got in the I've got Epiphone, Zach Wild, the Bullseye one.
Nice. Epiphones, I think, are actually better than Gibsons.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just going to say it now. They're better.
I would say the same, and I've heard a lot of people say that. And I bought that just at the right time. It was just as he was leaving Gibson to set up the Wild Audio. And I paid 250 quid for that.
Oh,
So I got it just at the right time.
Back then as well, that's a good fucking price.
Yeah.
A lot of people in that Rickenbacker I was looking at.
Oh, yeah.
I played a Rickenbacker. I played, I can't, what was the name of the band?
That's the thing, a lot of
Astrid.
signature ones, they're not cheap.
It was an old grunge band. They were quite popular back in the 90s. They're called Astrid. And the bass player, she played a Rickenbacker in the studios that we rehearsed in. A lot of the big bands used that to rehearse.
Yeah.
Before they would go and play a gig in Glasgow, and they'd left their stuff there overnight.
Yeah.
And we went in, me and my band went in to rehearse. I snapped a string, didn't have money to buy another string.
Well,
And he says, "Here, use that." And it was our bass.
Well, that picture Lisa's got on her, that's from that photo shoot.
Right. Oh yeah, can just see it. But
Yeah,
I
we
was
may
really
have a
lucky.
bigger one that's just showing a little bit more off than that in the bedroom.
No, I was really lucky with that Warwick though, because it's a friend of the the guitarist from the last band.
Yeah.
He was selling it. I didn't know it until after I'd literally handed him the cash, but I thought he was mental because he was selling it for 350, and I thought, right, even second hand, that's a crazy fucking price. And I was like, don't mind me asking, is there anything wrong with it? He says, no, it's brand new. He says, I literally bought it last month, but went to take it to rehearsal and the body's too small for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, is that it? He just didn't like it, just purely on a cosmetic basis. So he was selling a bass that he'd only just paid like a minimum of $1,000 for, and he was selling it literally brand new for 350 quid, and I was like, no, okay, there you go, bye.
Yeah, I've got Dean Razorback with the Cemetery Gates artwork on it.
Nice.
Oh, that is nice.
My mate had have you seen the Xenomorph Iceman?
Yeah.
My mate had one of them.
Nice.
They were fucking gorgeous, but the only thing was that was a veneer. Well, obviously it was a veneer, but it had no lacquer on it. They released it with no lacquer, so it was literally, bits of it started peeling like a sticker.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I will, yeah.
Gorgeous looking guitar when it was brand new though, but see, over the years it just started peeling like old wallpaper.
I mean, luckily, that last guitar I got, that Michael Kelly, that's got a absolutely lovely flame maple top on it, but it is lacquered.
That is nice.
That's the thing that struck me as strange with the Warwick, because they were always known for the open pore. You know,
I like
that's
that.
stunning, mate.
The other guitar that you've got, and it got reasonably recently, with that carved one.
That one, sorry. Which one, sorry?
The carved one.
Oh, yeah.
Made it get out. Yes.
No, I thought that was weird about the Warwick, because they were always like just plain wood finishes, open pore.
Yeah.
You know, but that's varnished. I thought it was strange. Don't mind, because it's still gorgeous. Oh yes, that is just.
I think that's gorgeous. I really do.
Pretty cool. I like a little dragon's head on top fin.
It's just evil incarnate.
Yeah.
You see, it's like Lemmy's guitar, which was obviously all carved. The Rickenbacker was all carved out. The problem is, it's £4,000.
Did you see what Lisa said? What do you mean other has enough to stock a fucking shop?
I'm
No,
sure.
not yet, Mike, but I have got a spare pickup that I could put in bridge position.
What have you been picking up now?
Well, hey.
That's a need to know basis, apparently. And we don't need to know.
I mean, you can't complain, you're an enabler. You'll keep finding me guitars, so you've no need to complain.
Buying vicariously.
So many guitars and so much little time.
Oh, tell me about it. I mean,
you only live once. I'm not going to say that word, but you do. You only live once. Yes, Mike.
yeah.
Yeah.
In that case, I'm getting the Rickenbacker.
Go for it.
Fuck it.
I would have it just hanging on
Yeah.
the wall.
I mean, that Razorback I got, that Cemetery Gates, the guy I got it off, he just got it because he was a Dimebag fan. He didn't play.
For fuck's sake.
I do get that, because it's like that collecting thing like we used to do with mobs as well. you see something nice and you just want it.
Yeah. It's got sentimental value as well.
I've got mods that I hardly use, and I could sell them, but I
Tell you something, that'll fetch a pretty penny now, though.
yeah.
Because they are rare. There weren't many sold, because he didn't. I don't think he was with Washburn long after they got successful.
No.
It was a pretty.
It was mid 90s, so about 2000-ish, I think it was Washburn, and then went back to Dean.
Yeah.
When Dean started back up again.
Yeah.
He only left Dean because Dean went out of business.
Washburn had some beautiful tones, though.
Oh,
Really,
I mean,
really
the
beautiful.
original solo guitars were made by Washburn.
That's right. At the
I
age
mean, get hold of one of them, they are worth some money. They are worth them.
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine.
And now, of course, Marshall are being sold to China.
Chinese parts, but they're built in Spain. No.
Yeah. I think it's Spain, isn't it?
Indonesia.
You're not UK
Indonesia.
anymore.
Sweden.
Parts in China, and the guitars, the solar. I mean the
Solo, yeah.
Chinese parts but they're built in
No,
Indonesia.
Solo were made in Indonesia.
Indonesia, aye.
So they're put together in Indonesia and
Just
then they're
a
shipped
matter-
out to the warehouse in Spain. And that's where
Doesn't
they're all
matter
checked
where
out.
they come from. It's all about
No.
how they feel and how they sound, and how
At the
long
end
they
of the day,
last.
that same factory that makes the Solos makes Ibanez, I think they make Fenders, they make all sorts of different guitars. Same factory.
It's the same as like Cort. I mean, Cort's Ibanez.
No. Not enough.
That used to be my baby right there, the Cort bass.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, that's the G series. That's the G96 or GB96 Cort bass, and I didn't know that it was the G series until I walked out of the shop. But my mate is a luthier. He owns Finlayson Guitars.
Yeah.
He was working in guitar. Well, he still works in guitar. He's the manager now, but he was one of the salesmen at the time and the repair guy for the guitars. But I was looking for a new bass, and I had my heart set on a Fender P, black and white Fender P, because I was heavily into Rancid, and that's all I was listening to. I wanted that Matt Freeman sound, so I was like, no, I want a Fender P. It's got to be black and white. And they came back in with the black and white Fender P, and they went, this is one of the nicer ones. And I was like, okay, plugged it in, got the tone that I liked. I was like, yes man, that's it. And he says, don't move. He says, I've got another one for you to play. He says, but don't look at it. He says, don't touch the EQ, don't touch the volume. He says, keep the exact same EQ.
Even Wiz Bear's a dime back.
He says, keep the same EQ, same volume, and play this, but don't look at it. He says, because you'll know why. And he brought it in, and I'm like, right, okay. So I'm trying my best to look at the amp head, and I played one of the Rancid tunes, and I was like, oh my god, the tone was just that cut through you. And it was that Cort series. It wiped the floor with the Fender P. I was just
Well, that Michael Kelly guitar I just recently got. I'd never heard of him, but I thought, well, look, we're at the A. Park guitar show I went to a few weeks back. I thought, that looks nice. It looks different, and I do like a Les Paul shape. Anyway, we had a walk around. I'm not really. There were one or two others that caught my eye, but I thought, let's have a go at these. And price he was selling that for, I'm thinking, fucking hell, that's cheap. Let me go back and try it. And I tell you what, the fucking action is so low on that. You only have to breathe on it, and you're just like, fucking, oh.
That's what I loved about that as well. I mean, they're basically Ibanez, but it's Cort or Ibanez's low range. And I'll never understand that, because that thing sounds better than some of the Ibanez basses.
Absolutely. I mean, I can't remember what Bobby's main guitar is, but it's some really sort of cheap Ibanez 7-string. It's not the Geo, it's something else. He says all his 7-string stuff is done on that guitar because it's got the sound he wants, and it always stays in tune.
Yeah.
And I think he said he paid about $250 for it. You don't have to pay expensive for it to get a decent sounding guitar.
Yeah.
I don't think you do nowadays.
No, I mean, yeah, 30, 40 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, there was definitely cheap components years ago, real. But the electronics and everything has come on so fucking far. And
Yeah.
I mean,
amplified
like I
as
say,
well.
you look at the Ibanez Geo and the Jackson Dinky models.
That was the one I
For
was
the price,
originally
yeah.
going for, was the
Yeah.
Jackson Dinky. But my mate was, Bill, again, done exactly what he done with that one and said, before you set your heart on the Jackson Dinky, because it was all I could afford at the time, but I knew that they were meant to be really good, he says, before you set your heart on it, have a look at this, he says, because these are really good for the price. And I was like, he was right about that, so I thought, right, fuck it, I'll go with the Geo, and it's brilliant sounding. It's in every one of the covers that I've done. It's just a lovely guitar. The neck's perfect for me.
Exactly.
You know?
I mean, don't end of the day, you pick up a guitar, you play it, does it feel good to you? That's all that matters.
Yeah.
If you don't like the pickups, you can change them.
Yeah.
You can change the tuners. Tuners are cheap enough to change. Pickups are cheap enough to change these days.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter what it fucking looks like either. That's one
Yeah.
thing that I've learned. I learned that from that as well, is don't judge it by how it looks.
No.
Well, you can always
That-
change
that
the look
goes
of
for
the guitar.
anything. Aye. It goes for guitars as well. You know,
Absolutely.
doesn't matter if it's got like Grover self-tuning tuning pegs, or Evertune or whatever fucking bridge, gold hardware. It might still sound shit.
No.
Might feel
Exactly.
shit to you. It might feel shit. It might not be right for your hands, but you know, but so yeah,
I mean that.
just try
Excuse me,
everything.
that 6-string Ibanez Geo I got, for the price I got it for, it was an absolute bargain. 'Cause it weren't brand new, it was second hand.
Jeez.
All I've done to it is some of the frets weren't quite level, so I had to level a couple of the frets out here and there. And I've changed, like I say, I've changed the pickup. That's all I've done to it.
Yep.
I've
Blocks are in
recorded
there.
plenty of music with it. I mean that song I did for Misfits, that was done on that guitar.
But blocks. He says, does it play? Does it ring? Good to go. Pickups are generally good these days.
Exactly. I
And
mean, Glenn Fricker did that video a couple of months back, didn't he?
I was literally
The
about
pickups
to
make a
say,
difference in the mix. No.
Yep, I was literally just about to say Glenn Fricker even pointed
Yeah.
it out. Doesn't matter how it looks, doesn't matter how what pickups are in it, because
No.
the speaker's the bit that's doing the hard work.
Exactly.
The speaker's the bit that's doing the work. You know, it's how. It's
Anybody
what's
who knows what they're
define the
talking about
sound.
will tell you, if you want a different sound, change your cabinet or change your speakers.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got two cabs. I've got a Jet City and I've got a Harley Benton. The Harley Benton's got your typical V30 in it. It's got that V30 sound. The Jet City has got a Eminence cabinet, Eminence speaker. Two totally different sounds.
Yep.
I actually prefer the sound of the Jet City, that Eminence speaker.
Heard a
I
few
don't know
people
which
say
Eminence
that.
speaker it is. I need to take the back off and have a look. But it was one that Eminence specifically made for Jet City for those cabs.
Well, again, Glenn Fricker, you saw all the fucking amps and cabs that he has.
Yeah.
And it goes back to it doesn't matter who it's made by or what it's made from. It could be the shittiest materials, but there's Behringer. That's his favourite cab, is a Behringer. And he's got like fucking PVs, fucking
Oh,
Marshalls.
he's got PVs, he's got Marshalls.
Yeah.
Marshalls, Engels,
Engels, fucking Christ knows what he's got, and that's still his favourite is the Behringer because of the resonance from that speaker and the wood that it was made from. And the wood's cheap wood, it just resonated better though.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show you, it doesn't matter if it's made from shit parts.
Well, with mine, the V30 is an 8-ohm, but the Eminence one is a 16-ohm. But they both work well. And I do like both cabs, but I just prefer that Eminence one. It just gives a different sound to that typical V30.
They done the, what was it, the D Eminence, was it them that done the one that's, was it Jim Root used to use? It was an Eminence speaker he used, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
what
yeah.
is it? D, oh, it's an Eminence D something.
I mean, yeah. I mean, exactly, man. I mean, Celestia makes some fucking quality speakers. You can't go wrong with Celestia.
Jesus as well. Jesus are meant to be really nice.
Yeah.
But again, the era that you buy speakers from makes a lot of difference because they changed the manufacturing processes. And
Well, see, you can get two speakers
tolerances
made by the
as well.
same person on the same day, and there'll be a slight difference in both of them.
Yeah, the tolerances and the give and the materials is different. Because
That's even more true. We're talking like heads.
That's engineering because he literally went into the, you know, with the resistance of the materials and how it vibrated and the waves that it was producing, and he worked out that it was like, this is going to be better resonance than this based on the tolerances for the how it handled this particular frequency.
Yeah. I've not seen that interview. I'll have to watch that. Apparently Jensen makes some good speakers as well. I've never tried a Jensen.
One thing I need to get though is when I get my new place and I'm settled and I've got all the shit that I need for the house, is I do want to invest in a good set of monitors.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the LP6s or LP8s and just kind of don't know what, because they seem to be the kind of more reasonably priced but still bloody good at the same time.
Yeah.
From everything I've heard. So
I'll admit, yeah, it's a Chinese-made Celestian. But for the full cab with the V30 in it, cost me less than what it would have cost me just to buy the V30 speaker on its own on eBay second-hand.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. And if you go to Peavy or fucking Marshall,
Yeah.
See, sometimes some people would argue that the reason it's dearer second hand as well, not just because it came from a different country, but some people would say that it's because it's been properly broken in and whatnot. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard those arguments.
You get that with home audio as well.
I can
Yeah.
see it. I can kind of see it because they do always say, don't turn an amp up all the way when you first get it. You know,
No.
slowly build it up over the space of a couple of days. You know, just to get the speaker used to vibrating for the first time.
Well, it's not just when you get them new, it's when you get your tone dialed in. Don't forget to keep turning your dials, otherwise you're going to need to clean those fucking switches out every now and again. You've got to keep those switches on, because otherwise you're just going to get full of dust and dirt.
Speaking of which, I'm going to have to clean my interface because it's never been. I've never adjusted any of the levels on my interface. Never needed to. I know.
Yeah, I do, because sometimes I'll have the guitar plugged straight in, and then other times when I'm doing the videos and I'm doing it through the cabs, I've got the microphones plugged in, so yeah, I am altering the dials for that.
But I noticed, like, I was in a video chat recently and somebody couldn't hear me, so I had to try and adjust the mic level. And I heard it, even I heard it was feeding back, and it was like...
Attack of the dust bugs.
Absolutely.
And the oxide.
All right, Scouse, how you doing, buddy?
Hey up, bud.
Oh, you've had a good holiday.
Still there, isn't he?
Yeah, he's on he flies back in the morning. Going into
He's
that.
got a surprise. He's got a surprise then, because I've told airport security he's carrying a bomb. And he supports Everton.
Oh,
A bomb or a bomb?
The toffees.
Bomb.
A bomb that looks like a bomb.
So long as he had fun, bless him.
Oh. Yeah, so he looks like he's had a good holiday according to pictures he keeps putting up on Instagram. Bless him.
You always get yourself a nice JCM 800 head.
Oh,
They were
I wish I had the
those
fucking
things.
money for one.
Trying to remember the name of the amp. I can't remember the actual model name, but Vox had an amp back in the kind of mid-90s to late 90s. And the distortion range that you could get, the tone range, you could go from like a kind of classic rock or 60s rock, just ever so slightly overdriven.
Yeah.
And then, but then you could just crank it and it would just be the most brutal but creamy, creamiest metal tone.
Yeah, the JCM 800's like that.
Yeah. Well, that's what I find with that Jet City head I've got, that Jet City amp. It's the Soldano designed one. And on the clean channel, you can go from that sort of not quite crystal clean, but just breaking up slightly to a nice crunchy 70s tone, and then flick it over onto the second channel, instant metal tones.
Is it Xander Charles that uses them now? It's Jet City. Used to be Stay Metal Ray. Because I know
I think he has got one or two of them, yeah.
Talking about a Jet City, and he was raving about it.
Yeah,
That it was
I've
one
got
of
to
his
admit,
favourites.
I absolutely love that Jet City, and just bang a basic. I mean, just bang one of them in front of it, just a basic tube screamer, and that thing growls. That thing is awesome sounding.
See, I tried to explain this to the two guitarists in my band because they were guilty of. They were those types of guitarists that would just go in and go with every dial on the amp. They'd literally just walk in and go, and I'd be like, no, less is more, less is more.
Yeah.
And I'd try and explain that to them.
Just turn that gain down on your amp a touch.
And stick a tube screamer in front.
Yeah, stick a tube screamer, even if you just bring a bit of gain into that tube screamer.
Aye, but not too much. Just
a tiny amount.
As they say,
and then
homeland,
tube
just a
screamer,
midgie's
perhaps an
ball hair.
EQ, bang, metal tones for days.
Mid-on pro.
Crushing metal tones for days.
They just
Mid-on
couldn't
pro.
They couldn't understand the concept of less was more. You know. Yeah.
I mean, if I were touring or if I were in a band these days, it'd just be something pretty simple like that Jet City, or my Marshall valve state, tube screamer, EQ, maybe a chorus and a delay pedal, and then perhaps some sort of EQ going through the loop. That'd be it. That's all I'd need.
Yeah. Well, even with the bass, when I was doing the punk stuff, I had the rat pedal, but I never used it. I never had the distortion up. I had it the gain was just on.
Yeah.
So that it was just ever so slightly overdriven, like JJ Burnell from the Stranglers. You know, it just when it hit a certain bit of attack, you'd get that.
Yeah.
It was just like,
Well, I mean,
lovely.
back in early days of Obituary, Trevor Perez, that's all he used were a Marshall with a rat pedal. That's how we got that
That's
sound.
going back a while now.
Yeah. Another good band live. Seen them live a couple of times.
They were a bit ahead of their time because I remember when they first came out, they were too different. You know, for death metal, they were too different. But
See, the thing I like about
listening to them now, you're like, right,
Yeah.
okay, I get it now.
the thing I like about Obituary is, yeah, they can do fast stuff, they can do some slow stuff, but it's all got groove to it. It's all got a groove.
Pestilence
Yeah.
were like that as well. They're still going, in fact, Pestilence. But they've gone kind of more prog now than death metal. They've went into the kind of prog death now, but still fantastic, right enough.
Oh yeah.
But,
Oh. Right. I think we've been going 3.5 hours. I think we'll call it at that.
it's too easy, isn't it? It's too easy.
It's too easy. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, Christ. There's been times when we've been waffling away. We've gone for over 4 hours.
I
So-
remember it well.
Thanks, everybody, for coming. Do you want to say your goodbyes, Matt?
Goodbye, Matt. No, thank you, G, for coming on. Thank you, mate.
Thanks for having
Good
us,
to
man.
talk to you again, buddy.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, everyone, for turning up. Even though we didn't force any of you this time.
Honest.
Honest, yeah. And payments are in the post. Yeah, apart
Absolutely.
from that, that's me about done. So I shall lob it over to G.
Cheers, Matt, and Lee, and thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
It's been a while since I've spoken to either of you, so it's been bloody good, and it's given me the need to go live again. But yeah, and thanks for anybody that did throw me a sub. I really appreciate that. There is going to be new stuff coming soon, and it might be different to the album, because as I said, I'm a metalhead, I'm a punk, so it might be that, it might be a crossover, or it might just be all electronic again. I don't even know. But the covers will still be coming frequently, so
Awesome.
Really.
Some awesome covers. Yeah, thanks for coming on, dude. And you're more than welcome to come on anytime. More than welcome.
Hold you to that.
It's been an enjoyable chat. And
Definitely,
yeah,
man, definitely.
thanks for everybody for showing up and participating. And we'll catch you next time.